Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure and get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those with outboards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center. 823 North 11th next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
Remember the classic Massey Ferguson tractors, straightforward, dependable, tough as nails, and easy to run? It's those classic models that inspired the Massey Ferguson 2600H series, as durable and reliable as the classics, with up to 74 horsepower and more comfort so you can work harder. The Massey Ferguson 2600H series. It's everything you want and need in a tractor. See one at Bush Machine and Tractor Company or visit bushtractor.com to learn more.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above also offers tree and limb removal. Don't forget hauling and dumpster rental as well. More than just a mowing service, they're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
Do you text emojis?
Yeah. I mean, I really like the one with sunglasses and a smile. I like that one a lot.
That's your go-to? Would you have the sunglasses emoji as an Arkansas State of the Union right now, or no?
I think it'd be a little sad face, like to lose that game.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a called play, and I called it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm ready to roll right now, Bo.
Can you believe we're doing this?
This brings back
just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
Like another excuse for this jackwater.
That's right.
Presented by First Security Bank. By Kurt Realtors, The Griffin Company. Pasco Air, Plumbing and Electric. Flight by Yingling and Fayetteville Auto Park. And now, Chuck and Bo.
I got to begin with something that I thought was really simple. Golf gallery applause, by the way, as we get underway.
Morning, Chuck.
Good morning. When a guy's not listed on the injury report, it means he's not injured. I mean, everyone's like,
That's how it works.
There's this, I saw Arkansas issue stunning injury report ahead of LSU game. It's like when a guy's hurt, he's either out, he's probable, he's questionable,
or he's left the building.
But if he's not on the injury list, it means he's not injured. And what we're talking about here is Taylen Green's not on the injury list. So he's going to play Saturday night. He's going to start, evidently. We've been talking about this, and I know you've said this, and I have too, that our hunch all along has been that he's going to play. Everything we heard indicated he was going to play. That while the injury looks severe, as it turns out, he's going to be good to go.
Well, I think, as importantly, Taylen Green, to my knowledge, hasn't missed any practice.
No, I don't think he's missed a minute.
Right. And Malachi Singleton, during a bye week, I'm sure got some extra reps, which is always important. But if you woke up this morning or you've been talking to friends or you're going to coffee to talk about the game, Taylen Green's injury, I don't believe, is a factor in this game.
I don't think so either.
And he's not listed. By the way, it's the smallest injury report Arkansas's had.
For those who don't know, you are required now. The SEC requires you. This is the first year to issue an injury report, a la what they do in the NFL. And you issue your initial one on Wednesday at 7 o'clock. And then you have another one that you issue on game day, your final injury report.
that
so
the
gamblers can get their bets in.
Yeah, it'd be hilarious if they just put them on there for fun on the last one that came out. But he's not even listed. In fact, Jalen Braxton's out. Rodney Hill, running back, is doubtful. Those are the only two players on Arkansas's injury report. LSU has double digits.
And understand, you're required.
Guys out.
You're required to list all this stuff.
Yeah.
And if you don't, there's a fine involved. This is serious business. And yes, when you look at LSU's report, It is very, very lengthy. Now, some of those people were already out. Some of them may be back that missed the Ole Miss game, based on what I understand. So they may have a few of those people. They got a lot of outs, and they got one or two questionables. But, you know, you're required to put accurate information down there. And I know everyone, you know, last night was, what's going on with Taylon Green? Well, how come Taylon Green's not on there? Well, because he's not hurt.
Yeah, because he's ready to go.
That's the deal.
He's ready to go.
And we have to kind of put two and two together now with these injury reports. And they're not going to always spell it out for you. You know, you're going to, well, if he's not on the injury report, I guess he's going to play.
You know, it's great news for Arkansas. I mean, we haven't talked much about it because it really wasn't a story. But now the injury report's out and people are asking about it. And it's like, well, yeah, Taylon's fine. Pittman's played it a little coy. I don't blame him. You know, it never hurts to.
Well, you're in an open week. There were no requirements last week to list anything. There was no game. So you could be as coy as you wanted to be.
But if you're evaluating the game, okay, you think Arkansas, wow, you're as healthy as you've been. You're coming off a bye week. Pittman's really good off bye weeks, has been, is 3-0 coming off bye weeks. Does that mean necessarily anything for this game? I don't know. But it does tell you when he's had and his staff has had time to prepare. If you go back to season openers, you go back to bowl games, you go back to a week off before a game, what is he, 9-0? In those games. So those are good signs, and it tells you they kind of know how to handle downtime. They did it a little differently in the bye week. They didn't scrimmage because they did have some injuries, wanted to get healthy. And if you're looking for positives, they're not hard to find. The healthiest team you've had all season, you're 4-2 at the halfway point. You've won every game. You didn't lose the turnover battle. And you see areas of your team that haven't performed particularly well, and you're still 4-2. You're healthier. You're getting better. How does that translate into the effort that you expect to see on Saturday night? By the way, some people have come out with midseason grades, okay? This is always something that I kind of roll my eyes at. But I was curious just to see, and Tom Murphy wrote about this in the Arkansas Democrat Gazette, WholeHogSports.com today, that Arkansas's, grades were whatever, right? I felt like I wanted to evaluate where are the areas of improvement for a 4-2 football team. And when you're giving the O-line a C+, which I don't disagree with, that's a positive sign. Your O-line has been a C, and you're 4-2? You figured out a way to get to 4-2?
Well, especially when it wasn't. I mean, I'm not sure it was at C level through 6 games last year.
But there's some pretty solid grades in there. But quarterback's a B? You're 4-2 with a B at quarterback that people felt like maybe should have been benched at points during the season? We never agreed with that. But those are all things that, like, hey, have you played your best game if you're Arkansas? Or is your best game yet to come? And I want to give somebody a grade right now. You people, the fans. The fans get an A for the Tennessee game. And I think it's going to be electric on Saturday against Baton Rouge because of, not just because of this game, but, man, when you feel that energy, if you're in that stadium and you were there for that excitement, you want to do that again.
I'm looking for the fans. Our players, will be ready. LSU will be ready. Well, I'm looking forward to the drive in and all the tents up and the people and the excitement on their face and a loud crowd. And, our fans can be a major problem for opponents when we give them excitement. So we need to start fast, get the crowd involved. They'll be involved early. We need to start fast. And it's just, I said it last week, there was nobody really had anything on that game day experience on us across the country. Now, I'm not saying that we were number one, but we were up there with all the programs in the country with the atmosphere the last time, when we played Tennessee, and I expect it to be that or even better on Saturday night.
Sam Pittman on the SEC teleconference. By the way, Chuck, we don't mess around here. Did you hear that serious analysis of the game coming over here from the analysis center right out of the gate today?
I know.
I mean, it's Thursday. Am I excited for this game or what?
I am. You are too. I can tell. Hey, let me say this.
There's no verbal grab butt, none of that coming in. It's just we get right into it.
Let me say this.
Get up early.
I think Arkansas's opening drive against Tennessee is what set the tone for the whole night, even though they only got a field goal out of the deal. I'm not talking about just on the field.
Some key first downs, too.
Well, I'm talking about within the stadium. The feeling was we got a chance. We got a chance to win this game. We just went on an 8.5-minute drive, 15, 16, 17 plays. You got to give them not just something to cheer about. Look, there have been lots of underdogs. You've been a 28-point underdog. You score first. That doesn't mean you're going to win. Just because your crowd's cheering doesn't mean you're going to win. But you got to give the people in the stadium the feeling that we're going to be in this thing. We got a chance to knock these guys off. I thought the first possession of the game did that. I thought the crowd was into it the rest of the night. When he says things like we got to give them some excitement early, that's part of a home field atmosphere. You can't have your best moment in the first half come in the middle of the second quarter and have your fans, be all into the game. Now, it doesn't mean if the first quarter doesn't go well, you're going to have a lousy crowd. But it sure is nice when you have something that happens early and everybody gets excited and has that feeling of hope.
The best thing I can think of to that point, Chuck, or the best example rather, was the Ronnie Wingo wheel route touchdown against Alabama.
Yeah.
And I mean, that place was as loud as you have ever heard it. And it set the tone for the day. To your point, Arkansas was going to be in this football game. And they were. And now, of course, we ended up losing that game. But still, it was an incredible environment. Same thing against Tennessee. Take the ball and go score points. Set the tone.
But we've seen it go the other way, too, at times. I mean, we've seen games where our fans were as hyped as a fan base could be.
USC.
And then bang, something happens right off the bat, and it's like, well, tonight's not going to be our night.
That's sports, too.
Yeah. No, that's exactly right.
But it's about creating that environment. And
they've done that.
They did a great job last week, and you get a win, and it energizes everyone. You want to go to a bye week with a win, and you want to go in with it's a little bit easier to go to practice feeling like you're a better football team than when you go in and you're just like you're trying to find a motivation, and we can work through this, but there's not a lot of signs of hope. I mean, we talk about it as a fan base having signs of hope, but as a player, it's more important. Because a lot of times what we think doesn't matter. What's going on in the building is what matters. But if you have confidence in your team and your teammates, and you look around the country right now at some teams that are struggling and pointing fingers at each other, and like that stuff it's hard. It makes it hard. It's always hard, but it makes it harder. And there's a great feeling around the program right now. And just embrace it. Show up Saturday and see what happens. Look, I don't have some massive confidence in Arkansas going out and winning the game. I don't. I think LSU's good. I'm curious to see how Arkansas comes out of the bye week, even though they've done it really well. But I also don't have this feeling that they're just going to come out and not do it again. I mean, it should be a great game, and they should have every chance to win the game.
Well, the last 4 have been decided by 3 points. So, I mean, I think that's a pretty good indicator of what we're going to see.
The line is 2.5.
Has it moved a little bit more?
It's back
and forth between 3 and 2.5.
I got you.
The people.
And as soon as it hits 3.5, Bart's all over it, baby.
Bang the table.
That's right.
I mean, this is a money line game.
I think so too.
Who do you think's going to win the game? It's a pick 'em. Who do you think's going to win the game? By the way, one other. Listen, if you're up and you were feeling bad this morning, I hope that you found all the hope. If you're a Razorback football fan, you need. But I'm going to give you a little extra for your coffee. Okay, that's the perfect type game that you would want an LSU team to play that they had last week against Ole Miss. The kind of game that they would have against an Alabama in the past, but then they come in and play Arkansas. They had to really get up and play in that game, and they never led until the go-ahead touchdown, basically game-winning touchdown at the end. So they had to put all their emotion, all their physicality, everything they had into winning that game. That's hard to do week after week. I don't care who you are. And that's one of the things that makes this league so tough. And if we're fortunate enough to be sitting here talking about an Arkansas win on Monday, we'll soon thereafter be talking about how the Mississippi State game is a trap game in a big way because it's hard to get up again to go play at that level. And this league creates those upsets and the difficulty of schedule because of that.
I'd be interested to know what people's overall grade of the football team is. As you've been talking about this, with the grades that were passed out. I heard you talk about C+ and B's, and there's probably a D in there. I don't know. We got a grade. I haven't read it.
We got a grade. It was a D. It was the only one.
Well, but I know this: when you were 4-8 a year ago, and you've hit your win total through 6 games, and you're 4-2, in my mind, that's an A. I don't care what anybody says. Now,
overall grade.
If your curve is perfection. If your curve is like, well, they got to be a top 5 team, well, that's not an A. But if your expectations were realistic, coming off a 4-8 season, for me anyway, through 6 games, I think they've exceeded expectations. Now, don't misunderstand me. I am not putting the final grade on the season. I am not one of those people who rushes to judgment in the middle of October to determine whether or not this was a good year or a bad year. There's half the season left. But I think to this point, if we're passing out mid-season grades, I think it's an A. I'm not embarrassed to say it. They're not perfect, but they're a hell of a lot better than they were a year ago. Well, they just beat a top 5 team, and a good portion of our fan base feels like they got a shot to do it again on Saturday night. That is an overwhelming improvement from where we were a season ago. Now, if you want to nitpick, you can nitpick. But I think when you really look at this from a realistic perspective, this team's done everything anybody could have expected them to do and more.
Kids, go out and tell your friends. Get a cup of coffee. Tell them Chuck Barrett said it right here on your way into the coffee shop. Dang it, I couldn't agree more. I agree with that.
I did come out guns blazing.
I agree with that.
I got to admit.
877
minutes in.
377-6963. How you feel about what Chuck? Slam your fist on the table.
That's right.
877-377-6963. Wake freaking up. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, well, congratulations. Hey, Chuck, I made some good calls today. You sure did. You sure did.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original Sports Rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Fayetteville Auto Park has been Northwest Arkansas's premier automotive dealer for a long time. There's a reason for that. It starts with great brands: Acura, Chevrolet, Honda, Toyota. Plus, they've got a huge pre-owned inventory. They've got an on-site collision center. And that really is what makes them your one-stop automotive headquarters. The best brands, the best people, the best service, and the best selection. Whatever your automotive needs, Fayetteville Auto Park.
I like craft beer. I do. You guys always think I'm like the biggest dork on the face of the earth.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing on all 2024 Buick Encore GXs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Encore GX is a boldly styled 5-person SUV that is ready to reward. Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing for well-qualified buyers. This is a limited time offer. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, and we are live at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District. Jose, but what we got whipping up today, man?
Man, today's special, we have the French toast turkey melt, kind of a special sandwich. It really didn't put us on the map, but it did put a star by our name.
Daily specials every day at the award-winning Lily's Sandwich Shop. And if you don't believe me, ask Lily.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. I'm buying them at the Bakery District today.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure and get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those without boards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center, 823 North 11th next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
Hey, Hawk fans, it's Ty with the Morning Rush. Join me this Saturday, October the 19th, from 1 to 3 o'clock at the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville for Arkansas Game Day. Robert, Elizabeth, and Matt at the Stadium Shop will have a buy one regular price clothing item, get a second equal or lesser value half off, including their Nike apparel and jerseys. It does not get more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. Arkansas Game Day live at the Stadium Shop on Razorback this Saturday from 1 till 3.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show. Listen anywhere at hitthatline.com or the Hit That Line Now app. And now, Chuck and Bo.
All you got to do is say the Razorbacks are good, and here come the Trollers.
Right,
man.
right.
Here they come.
What is it about that?
I don't know.
What is it about if you get on a show and you say, man, Arkansas is good? Let's just leave it there. It doesn't even matter who we're talking about.
They're going to be
if
all
you just
over.
say
He's
that,
carrying the
you're
water.
like, these guys.
Here's the thing. As I said a moment ago, if your standard is perfection, they don't get an A. But for your standard to be perfection is silly. Nobody uses perfection as a standard in their own lives. I mean, be honest.
Would you give? Let me flip the conversation around. What would your midseason grade be on Vanderbilt? Okay, totally objective here. People no team in the race. What would your grade be for Vanderbilt at this point in the season?
A to A plus.
A minus at the lowest.
Right.
They were picked 16th.
I mean,
Arkansas was picked 14th.
How would you give them anything other than an A?
Yeah, I mean, like I can hear,
Hey, guys,
I can hear a hardcore Vanderbilt fan saying, "Well, they lost to Georgia State." Well, okay, cool. They also beat Alabama.
Are
and
there
Virginia
hardcore
Tech.
Vanderbilt fans?
Yeah, they exist. Yeah,
I don't know.
They're too smart to tell us.
But you know, I was reading an article about Vanderbilt yesterday, and basically what it said was 2 plays away from being 6-0. That's the same thing we're saying.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing we're saying. But the perception of Vanderbilt to the outside world is A. I got news for you, people. The perception of Arkansas outside the borders of our state is an A2.
And to many people inside the borders.
Maybe so. But these people that had this, they've got this expectation you're going to go from being picked 14th to finishing second or third.
Yeah.
That ain't how it works.
Well, I'll just say this. For the people that think this isn't an A, I don't want to spend any time with you. Nothing personal. I just know you're not the kind of person I want to hang around with. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. I mean, what do you like? What is your problem? What's the issue? I mean, it's 31 and clear, by the way.
It is.
I said clear. 6:24 on the Chuck and Bo Show. It's Eminem's birthday.
It is 52.
What's a 52-year-old Eminem look like?
An old guy with tattoos. Lots of them. You know, when you say to yourself,
that sounds like an old guy without any tattoos.
No, I'm just saying, he's 52. You say, what does he look like? That's what he looks like. He's like a 52-year-old guy with a bunch
I don't
of
know
tattoos.
if I meant physically. I was just like, how do you feel about it? When I say Eminem's 52, what is your first reaction? Like your immediate thought? You're like, holy cow.
That's a question for Bart.
Because some people, it's a little bit like Snoop Dogg. Some people don't. You see him aging But in your mind, like the first thought that comes to mind for a lot of celebrity types are whatever you remember them most from, like 8 Mile with Eminem. And that's your, it's like that's the snapshot you always have in your head. And then you hear it's their birthday and you see some picture on social of what they look like today, and it kind of makes you go, huh. Kind of like your own birthdays, your own age, you're like, huh. This thing's not slowing down for me.
No.
It's like, wow, he's 52? Oh, yeah, I'm getting older, too.
In fact, here's the reality.
Birthdays.
The ride speeds up. It doesn't slow down. The ride speeds up as you go. Time does indeed move a little bit more quickly.
Oh, Jamie. Jamie says, it's my birthday today, too.
All right, Jamie.
52, old man with no tattoos.
Attaboy.
Lose yourself, LOL.
That's
a good text.
Yeah, that's good.
877-377-6963. You can get in here if you want.
We should mention that we have one of the all-time greats that's going to join us on the program in just a little over an hour. Dan Hampton, Pro Football Hall of Famer.
Been in there since 2002.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of the all-timers.
Number 4 overall, the 79 draft of the Bears, 85 Super Bowl champion.
He's going to be here Saturday for the game, too. He's going to be here Saturday.
He'll be here.
That'll be exciting.
Yeah, I'm going to sit down with him for a hog pod on Friday. So today we'll have him on the show. We'll do that, and then there'll be a hog pod out, and he's going to be honored at the game.
And that is going to be.
And he's going into the College Football Hall of Fame.
From Jacksonville, Arkansas. Jacksonville, you know, he played with Jimmy Walker, and, I mean, those were some great defensive lines. I mean, he had some great players back then. Still do, but, I mean, Dan Hampton, obviously, you know, but he was not a guy, if you're old enough to remember, he was not particularly heralded when he came in here. He was, you know, in terms of size, not anything like he became later.
I need to talk to Andrew and Rogers for a second, who texted in. Chuck, that's literally how grades work. An A is within 10% of perfection.
We're not at school.
Hey, Andrew, I don't think you understand sports very well. You clearly do not understand sports very well. You clearly don't understand that not every measure is the same. If that were true, please, if that's how you feel, please never coach kids. John McDonald won 40-plus national championships because he took guys who were C's and made them a B to you, but to them they became an A. And that A, where they were able to finish 4th or 5th in a race, won them national champions. So if you want to sit around and look at your entire team and say, you'll never be an A because you're never going to be perfect, you're never going to win jack. Can we not understand this? Is this real? I tell you, we're in school right now, and you're failing, Andrew. You are failing miserably. I'm talking to you. You got a flippin' F right now. You have no idea how sports actually work. When you take a test at school, you don't have a 240-pound linebacker bearing down on you while you're trying to fill your Scantron out. 628, good morning. I'm glad you're here.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
There's a lot of lions, tigers, and bears, but there ain't but one razorback. Not even one.
Man, I've got some good news. Sweatinum Cosmetic is not just for females. Turns out us guys want to look and feel good too. Why be tired, lethargic, and overweight when we don't have to be? Sure, diet and exercise matter, but there can also be a lot more going on. For example, low testosterone is a real thing among many adult males, not just the old guys. I've heard about the weight loss shots and the low T ads before, and I've been skeptical. But then I stopped by my friend's office, Dr. Jeff Sweatinum. He showed me around that first-class facility and said, here's what we're doing for guys. It's called the Sweatinum Edge. You make an appointment, get a free evaluation covering 4 potential issues: hormones, weight loss, hair loss, and skin. Find out where you are and decide if treatment is right for you. Log on to SweatinumCosmetic.com, SweatinumCosmetic.com, and click on the Sweatinum Edge, or call 479-966-4174 and tell them you heard about the Sweatinum Edge on the Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Thank y'all for your show. It's a great format in the morning. It's really nice to have knowledgeable people to wake up to and listen to. So thank y'all.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Fall is here, and that means cooler weather, football, and family, which makes it the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart, your family's #1 tire store. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is ready for anything fall brings your way. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above also offers tree and limb removal. Don't forget hauling and dumpster rental as well. More than just a mowing service, they're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. Here at ESPN Arkansas, we rely on Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on the radio station when we're not here. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your stuff. Guardtronic, license E50.
What makes Crabtree RV Center different? First, we are a 4th-generation family-owned business, taking pride in making your family's dreams come true. No corporate mentality here. Second, we've been in business for 74 years, founded in 1950 here in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas area. We are not going anywhere. What does that mean for our customers? A family feel with no corporate hidden fees. The reassurance that we will be here for generations to come, and knowledgeable salespeople who want to pick the right RV for your family to make lifetime memories in. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show. Listen anywhere at hitthatline.com or the Hit That Line Now app. And now, Chuck and Bo.
That might have been a little much, sorry.
Nah, it was okay.
Maybe carried away a little
Hey,
bit.
if you can't get out of bed, you
Didn't
know,
mean to. I didn't
with a
mean to
little energy there.
crush Andrew, but he kind of hit on a hot button issue there about, perfection and what's an A. I mean, in sports, you got to evaluate what you have and be honest about where you are if you're going to measure yourself accurately. Like if you don't measure yourself accurately, and this applies to probably a lot of areas in life, if you don't measure yourself accurately, then you're going to be lost and you're going to be making decisions based on things that aren't true. So if you're looking at Arkansas football saying they don't get an A because they're not 6-0, then you're living in an alternative world. Like you're not here. Because nobody There was not an expectation of 6-0 from anybody. Maybe the players and coaches. But sports is about progress. It's what makes sports great. Is, you know, and this is such a big topic, like moral victories and all this. People that say there are no such things as moral victory, completely not true. Completely not true. What you're really trying to say is don't make moral victories your standard. But if you're telling me that, like, let's just pick random team X and they haven't won a game in 30 years and they lose a game and they've been blown out by 14 or more in every game, and then they go to double overtime and lose, you telling me that team doesn't feel the next week like they've got a better chance, that doesn't matter? Of course it does. Just like every time you go into a sales meeting and you didn't hit your goal, but you're way further along than you were last year. I don't even know why I'm explaining this. I think anybody that any sort of logic gets it.
Here's the reason I feel good about where they are right now. I'll be very honest. My hope at the beginning of the season, just my hope was that they could win enough games to where everyone would keep their jobs. You could bring Taylon Green back next year, and you would actually give Bobby Petrino a real opportunity to develop that quarterback. We have gotten so hung up on what we believe is going to be an immediate dividend from the transfer portal. And sometimes it is. Now, sometimes it is. But we've gotten so hung up on that, we've forgotten about player development. And player development is not, is he better in week, or is not just, is he better in week 4 than he was in week 1? That's not the only aspect of player development. Player development's a long-term process. Not just Arkansas, but college football in general has gotten away from that to a great degree because of the portal and because of the NIL. So my hope at the beginning of the season was they win enough games, which obviously means they're going to a bowl game. You got to put that in the criteria for enough. But I would really like to see what Arkansas could do. Let's win a few more games this year. Let's get to a bowl game. I would really like to see what this team could be like next year with the vast majority of some of these skill guys back. Not all of them, but the quarterback primarily.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Petrino and Green be a 2-year deal as opposed to just a 1-year operation. I think you've got a chance for real development there. I think you've got a chance to begin the process of actually sustaining a program. It's not about one-offs. We've gotten fooled by one-offs over the years into believing that, you know, we were back or we're among the elite. You're among the elite when you do it over and over and over again. And the only way you do that's to develop. If you want to get a good quarterback after Taylon Green, well, Taylon Green needs to be great while he's here. And in my mind, when I look at it, I would love to see a second year with those two guys. And I hope that they can get to that point. Signs in my mind indicate that's going to happen. That's why I'm happy with where they are. Would I love for them to be 6-0? Absolutely. Certainly would. But I want to see this thing sustained for a little bit. We shuffle the deck a lot around here. We've done it a lot over the years. That's not always the recipe for success.
Couldn't agree more. Excuse me. I got choked up about it.
Yeah, well, it's been that kind of morning.
Yeah, well, Aaron in Springdale said, LOL, it's not that serious.
Yeah, really.
Well, hey, you're not sitting in this seat.
Hey, that's right.
David and Cersei.
You've been up since 3:30.
You're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Good morning, fellas. First of all, I'm going to make a little confession. I don't believe I've missed a football game, basketball game, or baseball game that I can remember in the last several years. So, you know, that's a pretty ardent Razorback fan. There's a lot of others that could probably say that. But I've got to make a real confession. I indulged in a couple of conversations before the football season started that went like this. Yeah, man, I can't wait for football season because, you know, that'll give us something to watch until basketball and baseball starts. You know, I mean, those conversations actually happened. And it was like, yeah, we don't expect much, but who knows? Maybe we'll have a good season. Well, now, wait a minute. Chuck,
Yes, sir.
I was thinking while you were talking, I'm giving them a solid B, man, a solid B. And then I heard you talk, and I thought, solid B? If you had told me before the season started we could lose to LSU, which anybody knew was a key game on our schedule when you looked at the schedule, we could lose that game and still have a winning record? Are you kidding me? In years past, the first play of the game would be right up the middle. Auburn runs for a touchdown. First play of the game. Did we have any linebackers on the field? Well, yeah, we did somewhere, but the replay showed you where they were. The next time they got the ball, it's a touchdown pass. Did we have a defensive back over there somewhere? Well, no, not really. Well, listen, I had concerns about the linebackers. Well, guess what? I do not have concerns anymore. And we have defensive backs that are not only in the area every time, they're making plays. I have come to the realization after the Tennessee win, we have a bona fide football team that's not going to give in to anybody. And I'm not saying how the rest of the season's going to go. We could lose a couple in a row. You never know. But nobody is embarrassed over this football team, nor will they be. This is a solid A, and anybody that doesn't think it is really doesn't know anything about sports.
Thank you, David.
Appreciate the call.
Are we paying too much attention to the naysayers, to the negative people out there? We had a text a minute ago, and he's right. And I've said this before. The vast majority of people in our state, I think, are thrilled to death with the way things are going right now. Not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but very, very happy with the way the season's going.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not be? I mean, but I think the conversation comes from is, it's just so easy to go negative. I mean, this is just psychology. Like if you've sat in enough, therapy couches, you learn this stuff. You looking at me, but when you. When like most,
we got about 5 mirrors in here right now. Just for the record, for us all to look at.
Yeah, most of natural thoughts are negative, and they repeat themselves. Okay, it takes work to get out of thinking negative. It just does. Like some people have it naturally; they're just really positive people. And sometimes you look at those people, and you're like, I'm not sure you're dealing in actual reality. But the people that deal with negative emotions and figure out how to handle them and realize that it's not just a cognitive distortion every time, like we're always going to suck and everything's going to be terrible. And because I spilt my coffee this morning and because I also got a flat tire on the way into work, I have no chance at having anything good happen today. It takes work to get out of that thought process. And for Razorback fans, I get that. And this whole conversation starts because there's just, and I said when we started the show, I don't even, like when people do midseason grades, I kind of laugh. But I was curious this time because of the feelings going into the season. And then you start 4-2 and you haven't done everything great, but you're still 4-2. And that gives you some expectations that you didn't really have going into the second half. You didn't have that going into the season. But if you take where this team was on the curve and where they went in 6 games, I mean, that is it's exceeding expectations if you want to change the language of whether you're giving them an A or B. It's exceeding expectations. And as a parent, as a coworker, as a boss, as a coach, as a leader, when your team exceeds expectations, do you look at them and say, man, that's a really solid B, guys, congratulations? Or do you say you killed it? You're killing it. Keep going. Keep going. And so as a fan, you're wanting it. So just get excited and be happy for where you are and think to yourself, unbelievably, you got a chance to beat another top 10 team in back-to-back games at Razorback Stadium, which has happened how many times? Never. And you don't go into the game feeling hopeless. You go in with all the hope and excitement you could possibly have. And so the people that still want to put water on that, it's just sort of like, it's not that we're focusing too much on it. It's like I'm calling that crap out. You want to call me out for being positive? I'm calling that crap out. Calling you out.
Just for the record, B is a very good grade. If I could have had an academic career full of B's.
You're looking at a 2.5.
I don't know that I'd be
GPA
sitting here
right
at
here.
C. Well, C students rule the world, but
2.5.
B's are very, very good grades.
A 2.5 got me through.
Yeah.
High school.
And look at you now.
my family thought I'd amount to
friends,
nothing.
Your family and friends
And
think you're a success.
they were right.
You know better.
Yeah.
That
guy's
such
on,
a good line.
on the radio. He's so successful, but we know better. 6:45. It's the Chuck and Bo Show.
That's funny.
It's 32. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
But I want someone to slide into my DMs. It's just
I'm
a
not
personal
sure I'm
goal.
entirely comfortable with this.
It sounds appealing to me.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
With Oaklawn Sports, the action never stops and the season is never over. It's now easier than ever to wager on your favorite sports all year long. Go from football to basketball to baseball to golf. Bet on what you want, when you want, with the brand you trust. Oaklawn Sports even offers ways to bet on cricket, rugby, table tennis, and more. If it's a sport, chances are you can wager on it. Plus, it's now simpler to deposit and withdraw money from your account. Bet all year long with Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
You know, there's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state, and you can add Flyway Brewing to the list. A craft brewery with roots in North Little Rock dating back to 2013. With popular flavors like Blue Wing Berry Wheat Ale, the Honeybird Blonde, and the Early Bird IPA, there's no shortage to enjoy a tasty craft beer flight at the Flyway Brewery in Fayetteville, 1550 East Zion Road, or in North Little Rock at 314 Maple Street. Flyway Craft Beer, also available in restaurants and stores everywhere.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I don't know what odd time is for you, but yeah, you got here before the show started.
Whatever. Hey, have you ever seen anyone that takes so much pride in being the first one here?
Here with Grant Neal at Road Chevrolet. Grant, how do you get all these pre-owned vehicles that look so good?
Well, what we do is we get all the vehicles that we can that qualify for our certified pre-owned program. We give them that certification. What that means, they get a higher level of inspection, and the manufacturer comes and guarantees a warranty on that vehicle. So you're going to get a guaranteed 12-month, 12,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty, as well as an extension on the factory powertrain warranty and an additional oil change paid for by Chevrolet. So great value, and there's no warranty better than a manufacturer's warranty. And that's on top of the 2-year complimentary maintenance program that we give on every vehicle we sell.
You have to ask yourself, why should I go anywhere else? Road Chevrolet is the place to go.
We don't have the largest selection, but we have a very quality selection. We handpick these vehicles, and most of them are acquired here locally, which gives us an even greater level of quality control. So we're not selling, mystery vehicles, and man, I hope that this thing wasn't abused. We know the history of most of these vehicles.
That's why they are Arkansas's favorite car dealer, Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren.
When I need a place to stay in Northwest Arkansas, I always choose the Inn at the Mill. It's centrally located in the heart of NWA at the Johnson exit off I-49 and is the most unique choice of hotels in the region. Whether you're in town for the game, a concert at the Amp, business travel, or just a weekend away, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious, clean room ready for you. Reserve your stay at the Inn at the Mill, 479-443-1800, or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
What's new and what's on sale at Wheeler Power Sports? Many new bikes, quads, and side-by-sides from Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Polaris are arriving weekly. New to the dealership, the Polaris Ranger XD 1500, Kawasaki Ridge with a full cab and HVAC, and the all-new Brute Force 450. Plus, we have rebates and dealer discounts totaling as much as $6,000 off certain side-by-sides. WheelerPowersports.com. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Good morning, Chuck and Bo. Love you, Chuck. I've been listening to you dang near all my life calling games. I'm certainly excited about y'all's new show. I've listened every morning.
You know what I love about Bo? He loves
the drinking
to
all day.
He loves to argue, man. Yeah.
The drinking all day.
Yeah. No, that isn't it. But, I mean, that's
what Pittman said when they asked him, why is the night atmosphere so good?
The drinking all day.
Yeah. I was there.
Did you get that out of him? Yeah, Sam Pittman.
I wouldn't say I got it out of him, but he evidently had that line
We
ready
cut
to
the
go.
clip off too soon. You can hear the laughter almost begin.
The drinking all day.
You can hear somebody up front got it quick, and they went, huh? And they got cut it off.
Yeah. There was a lot of laughter in the aftermath. Play that again.
The drinking all day.
We can just the great thing about a soundbite like that is, what do you love about Chuck?
The drinking all day.
What do you not like about Chuck?
The drinking all day.
I asked him, I said, we had an audience question, what is it about playing under the lights, that makes teams so good? And he said,
the drinking all day.
There you go.
It's a great answer.
That's how it worked. Shane's in Huntsville. Shane, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Morning, Shane.
Hey, Shane.
Good morning. I think Jalen Green, I think we underestimate him sometimes. I think 2 years and you see maybe a Heisman Trophy guy. If we work out kinks in our line, places like that, I see a lot more out of him. I just wanted to give my 2 cents worth and let you talk.
Yeah.
I'll listen to it on the radio.
All right, thank you, Shane.
What's interesting about that take is a lot of times we talk about players in certain situations. Okay, there's a thing going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers right now with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. For the first time, Russell Wilson's not on the injury report. Okay, and people are talking about whether he's going to start. But my point is, Justin Fields is a different quarterback than he was at Chicago. Now, I'm not saying he's a Pro Bowler, but he's better. And we see situations all the time. I mean, Jaden Daniels started off at Arizona State, ended up at LSU in a good situation, tearing it up in the NFL. He's in a great situation right now for him. Cliff Kingsbury is his coordinator, understands him, and it's going well. When you get a quarterback with the right coordinator, we've seen the opposite of that. I thought Enos and KJ were that last year. Maybe there was more to it. We're seeing KJ struggle now at UCF and not play. But when you get a coordinator and his quarterback and they develop what he can do well and you get some longevity, that's where Heisman Trophy performances and opportunities come from. I'm not saying Taylor's going to be a Heisman candidate, but when you watch him play and you see the upside and you know Petrino and you put that together for 2 years, that's reasonable analysis that it could happen. And it's not just that. It's other areas of the team. Culture is something we talk about with the high roster turnover. If you're able to develop a culture where guys like playing this year under Pittman and you have enough success that people are believing, and then you bring a few other guys into that, they're going to be led by those guys. That's what longevity, consistency, retaining coaches, those are the kind of benefits that you can get. So it's not just this year.
I think you've also got to let players physically and mentally mature. You were talking about the National Football League a minute ago and Justin Fields. Look at Baker Mayfield. He's not even 30 years old. Look at Baker Mayfield now as opposed to what people thought of him 5 years ago. The only difference is he's older and wiser. He's been around the block many times now. And development is important. Just as we rush to determine the worth of the season before the end of September, too often we rush to determine the worth of a player after he's played 3 or 4 games. We're going to have a Hall of Famer on in about 35 minutes that was not highly thought of when he came to Arkansas. Wasn't even a starter, and now he's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So part of the time, some of the time, a lot of the time, you got to let these guys develop physically and emotionally. I've never coached, but the idea that you can develop someone in a year, I don't know. You can help them in a year. I don't know if you can fully develop them in a year.
Happy birthday to Eminem. He's 52. Alan Jackson, 66. Doug McMillan, CEO of Walmart's 58. Good morning, Doug.
High story. High school football coach and former college quarterback.
I love coaching, but it's a lot more fun after LASIK. Now when I'm coaching, I can focus on my players and not my eyes. After LASIK, my eyes are even better than before when I had glasses or wore contacts. The McDonald Eye Team was great. They put me at ease. I couldn't believe how well I was seeing the day after surgery. Good vision and good football go together. I'm really glad I trusted my eyes to McDonald Eye Associates.
See your best with safe and affordable LASIK from McDonald Eye Associates. Register for your free consultation at mcdonaldeye.com.
When it comes to finding the perfect diamond, there's one name that stands above the rest in Northwest Arkansas. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. As the region's premier experts for diamonds, Blakeman's offers an unparalleled selection of brilliant stones, handpicked for their quality and beauty. They don't just help you find the perfect stone, they educate you on every step of the way. Whether you're planning a proposal, celebrating an anniversary, or simply treating yourself, Blakeman's is where your search ends and your story begins.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
It's the Hogs versus the Tigers in a homecoming battle for the Golden Boot. Arkansas battles LSU in a primetime matchup inside Razorback Stadium this Saturday night, 6 p.m. And we need Razorback Stadium absolutely rocking. So if you've got tickets, make sure they're being used. Or if you need tickets, go online right now to the official resale marketplace of the Razorback Athletic Department, SeatGeek.com. It's Razorback Stadium Red Out this Saturday, so be sure to wear red and bring the noise on Saturday night.
We bring in players. They didn't grow up with a Woo victory. They don't bleed hog red. They bleed money.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, an increase in the sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon climbing into the upper 60s. Clear and pretty brisk as we head through the night. Overnight low will drop down upper 30s. Friday, lots of sunshine, a high in the low 70s. And then Saturday, a bounty of sunshine, highs on Saturday close to 75. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above also offers tree and limb removal. Don't forget hauling and dumpster rental as well. More than just a mowing service, they're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
You sound like a participation trophy, Dad.
Arkansas is special. Our people are honest and hardworking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is pure Arkansas. We were raised here, we live here, and we're straight shooters. Unfortunately, out-of-state lawyers who care nothing about Arkansas are advertising for your legal business. They don't understand that you don't hand Arkansans a pile of cow dung and try to tell us it's a rose. Don't be just a number. Call the Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
This is a public service announcement for hard seltzer lovers. Neutral Vodka Seltzer has arrived. Made with simple ingredients like vodka, seltzer, and real juice. Neutral tastes good. Like real good. So good that you'll never want to drink another artificial tasting seltzer again. Neutral's light and refreshing taste will show you what a vodka seltzer can be. Try Neutral, the one with the umlaut. Copyright 2023 Neutral Distilled Spirit Specialty, Los Angeles, California. Enjoy responsibly.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve. The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants. You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
They know that you've got the firepower to do this. Now, all we got to do is go out there and do it. There are a lot of lions, tigers, and bears, and cowboys of all variations in this college football world, but there's only one Razorback.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a call play, and I called it.
A show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm ready to roll right now, Bo.
Can you believe we're doing this?
This brings back
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio. Let's make another excuse for this jackwater.
That's right.
Presented by First Security Bank. By Kurt Realtors, the Griffin Company. Pasco Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Flight by Yingling and Fayetteville Auto Park. And now, Chuck and Bo.
Gina from Flippin is a parent math teacher, and she has weighed in and said, here's a math teacher's perspective. If every game won is an A and every game lost is a C, you can still have an A average for the season so far. And then she goes on to explain, but it's way over our head. So, at least mine. I don't know about you,
It's
Chuck.
my understanding there would be no math. But math is...
yeah, it's sports. It's sports.
You know,
we gotta have some math in there.
No, there's no fact
Chuck's
checking
like-
and no math.
And that's why you're reminded every time you look to your left, and there's Rick Schaefer during the football broadcast why he's there.
I know. He is the numbers man. He is the numbers man. There's no doubt.
Eddie's in Clarksville on a Thursday morning. It's 7:03. Good morning, Eddie.
Good morning, gentlemen, and good morning to this great fan base. If you will allow me to be so gracious, you don't see a different Eddie from Clarksville call this morning.
Oh.
You know, today, it's me and my wife's anniversary.
Oh, congratulations.
For all she is and for all she does, I mean, she's always saying, you love the Razorbacks more than me. Well, not even an inkling, sweetie. Let me say this. You know, I received the most devastating news, as you already know, Bo. And by the way, sir, God bless you. You know, you didn't have to do the things you did, but you did. You know, and so that's what makes America so great. And how you survive something like that, Well, you got to have a lot of emotional support. And, man, if you would just close your eyes for a second, just think of how much you love your kids today. Well, and just add that 10 times more. That's how I loved him. But look, you know what I'm told about the heart? It has 4 chambers. And within that heart, we're told by Corinthians chapter 13, verse 7, love endures all. It's everlasting. It's always kind. And, you know, and even through the most difficult times, you can survive. But, you know, I want to give a big shout-out also. I want to dedicate it, but before I go, I want you to dedicate this song, please, to my wife. When you go to the movie with Bradley Cooper and Madonna, I'll always remember you this way. You're buried in me like California gold, sweetie. But yes, I love the Hog Train. But no doubt about it, I've been aboard it 50 years. You know, I just love it. The Hog Train different than I love you, baby. Now, let me say this. I want to give a big shout-out to Charlie. Woo! By the way, Charlie, now it's coming out of me. You know, I'm a very passionate Cowboy fan. And, boy, he let it rip the other day. The tuna on Jerry Jones and the state of our Cowboy. Are they America's team anymore? I don't know. I'd like to give 2 more shout-outs to my little grandson. Maybe I survived because of this. Since then, I got a little grandson. His name is Matthias. I call him Matty. You know, but here he is. He'll have a birthday, just 3. Imagine this. He's giving the Woo Pig Suey already. He likes going to the park. He'll say, Papa, take me to the park. He likes going to the Super Center in Clarksville. He likes Hot Wheels. You know, I'll buy him he likes a Camaro or a Charger, and I'll buy him something usually every weekend. And the last shout-out I want to give, I'm told there's a young couple in London, Arkansas that work at the her husband works at the nuclear plant. His name is Peyton Frost. Is a fan of mine. Imagine that. There is a fan of mine somewhere. But I said this. His wife works with my wife, and he wanted me to state this. And so I'm going to do it today. His wife gives my wife, I guess they have chickens on a small farm to my wife, and we eat them. And he wanted to say his eggs power the Hog Train and Eddie from Clarksville. Thank you, gentlemen, for taking my call today.
Eddie, all right, Eddie, thank you.
Happy anniversary.
An emotional Eddie. Happy anniversary, Eddie.
Listen, whatever you want to say about Eddie, the man has some depth to him. He's got some thinking. He is a thoughtful person. And if you didn't know, in all seriousness, what he was referring to at the beginning, Eddie lost his son tragically a few years ago. And it was a really rough time. And so it does my heart good when I hear Eddie, you know, the happiness in his voice, even through all
Eddie's
the pain
a good guy
that others can relate to. I know in some cases, and for those of us that have never experienced that tragedy, we should you know be reminded of that every day. I don't wish that on anyone, but again, you get to the end of Eddie's call. And you're like,
I like the way he said
what
Madonna.
Happened?
I like the way he said Madonna.
What?
Just the way it rolled off his tongue.
You just don't know where to go after his call. It's like, where did we went a lot of places?
We
there.
really did.
And he's got fans that he's doing shout outs to.
I know.
It's just,
hey, you think when Eddie
just gold?
You think when Eddie goes to the Super Center, people are saying, "Eddie, can I get a picture with you?"
Yeah, of course.
Hey, he's the most famous guy in town.
The first time I met Eddie, I got a picture with him.
Well, me too.
Dang straight I did.
Absolutely.
Charlie's in Camden. Charlie, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
You know what's crazy, guys? I just turned the radio on. I just got in my truck about probably 3 or 4 minutes ago, and I just happened to hear him on here, and I knew. I mean, he's been bringing me up a lot lately because I did kind of go in the other day on Jerry Jones, which I kind of let it all out. It was like a therapy session for me over there on the halftime show. I just had to do it, guys.
Yeah.
I just, the way he treated those reporters was very, in my opinion, disrespectful, and I just had to let it all out. And he heard it, and so. But no, man, yeah, you guys talking about Eddie and losing his son. I'm 31 years old, and I wouldn't know anything about that, but Eddie is a good dude, and he's up there. I don't know of any fan of any team. Like, I don't listen to all the other radio shows of every team, but I'm biased. I think we got arguably one of the most passionate fans I've ever heard in my life. These two tackles, though, talking about this game, Chuck, more than anything in this game, do you think Arkansas kind of comes in with a similar approach game plan-wise defensively? Because, what's his name? Brian Kelly was talking about how they were able to stop the run the other day with that kind of formation that they were in. I'm not saying that they are going to come in and run that against LSU, but they may mix that in some. My point is LSU has not been running the football well. And so if we can keep them from doing that, and look, I know they can throw the ball, and it's crazy that they've only given up 2 sacks. But in your opinion, the thing about Travis that I think he does so well is once he gets guys up there and they disguise and you don't know where they're coming from, the crowd is going to play a big part in this game. I think that's what's hard about blocking, and I think we had some struggles with that early in the year. Now, I'm not blaming it all on that. I'm just saying it's hard to communicate up there, and I'm hoping our crowd can have a big impact, and maybe we can get to him a couple of times. I'm not saying sack him, but we got to hit him. Get him off his spot a little bit.
That's the big thing.
Y'all have a good one.
Thank you, Charlie. Yeah, you got to get him off his spot. I know that he completed passes on the run against Ole Miss, and he looked good doing it. But that's still what you've got to try to force. You can't you can't let him sit back there and just pick you apart. LSU's got a lot of speed. Now they've got one receiver that's going to be out, and they've got another one that looks like he's going to be back. So they've got some guys over there who can make plays. To me, when I look at it, and you talked about the defensive alignment, a lot's been made out of it. They weren't with 3 down linemen every play. They did a lot of mixing, and I suspect that they'll do something similar in terms of what we see from our seats pre-snap. I suspect we may see some similar things in that regard, but I think more than anything, they confuse Nico by giving him different looks. And I would assume that they'll try to do that to a degree with Nussmeier.
And it'll be harder with him.
Sure it will.
But the crowd is a factor. And
it is a factor.
5 false start penalties or 4 false start penalties in the LSU game or in the Tennessee game. LSU on the road this year. Here are their road games. USC, they lost. Columbia, they almost lost. I mean, like South Carolina, if they don't lose their quarterback in the first half of that game, really like their chances to upset LSU. In Columbia, credit to LSU, they won the game. Last week, they're at home against a good team, even though they don't have a great record right now, Ole Miss. They trail the whole game. They find a way to win it at the end. But their struggles this year, besides that game on Saturday, have been on the road. And this will be the loudest environment that they are in so far this year on Saturday night.
Well, you got to put them in pressure spots. We saw that with Tennessee. One of the things we talked about coming into the Tennessee game was they'd not been put in a situation yet where they were under pressure. And let's see how they do. I'm not talking about a quarterback facing a pass rush. I'm talking about with a lot on the line when you snap the ball. And they found themselves in those spots for the first time this year. Now LSU's been through more pressure situations, and LSU's good, and they found a way to win a game on Saturday night when they didn't play the best among the two teams, at least for 60 minutes. That's the mark of a good team, in my judgment. It's a team that cannot play great, still find a way to win. So Arkansas is going to have their hands full. But if they can put them in 3rd and long, they'll have a chance to disrupt Nussmeier.
Crowd plays a role. Look, there's nothing for all the talk about after the UAB game. Well, Arkansas just doesn't play that well at home. Well, that changed on Saturday when Tennessee came to town. It's going to be a great environment this Saturday night. We also talked about all the road games or all the different venues that Arkansas has had to play in this year. There's nothing like being at home when the vibe is right, and it's right right now. And I'm looking forward to this environment on Saturday. You know, I don't get that loud feeling when I walk into a First Security Bank, but I get that home feeling.
Same kind of reception.
I get that Arkansas feeling. I get that.
Chant your name.
Hey, we may not know who you are, but welcome in here.
Yeah.
This is a very friendly environment. It's an Arkansas environment, and that's what you get at First Security Bank. They are the official bank of the Chuck and Bo Show. We wouldn't just pick anybody. They are. The Rutledges have done so much for Arkansas. We appreciate their support on this show, and nobody loves the Razorbacks and the state of Arkansas more. Friendly, local banking. They bank better at First Security Bank. Check them out online, fsbank.com. Member FDIC. Dan Hampton's coming up at 7:30. Got some time for a reaction and calls when we come back. 877-377-6963. If you haven't made it out yet today, it is in the 30s.
It's cold.
Be mindful as you get out and about on a Thursday morning.
I'm ready for summer.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I've been waiting to say this for 5 years. Sterling in Center Ridge.
This is quite the coup that they have put together. Bo and Chuck, this is a dream team.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Fayetteville Auto Park has been Northwest Arkansas's premier automotive dealer for a long time. There's a reason for that. It starts with great brands: Acura, Chevrolet, Honda, Toyota. Plus, they've got a huge pre-owned inventory. They've got an on-site collision center. And that really is what makes them your one-stop automotive headquarters. The best brands, the best people, the best service, and the best selection. Whatever your automotive needs, Fayetteville Auto Park.
Just thinking, what is a Pirates' favorite college football team?
Say it, Bart.
Arkansas.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients better lives with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, now offering same-day crown service. Mention you heard this ad on ESPN Radio at your next appointment and receive a free bleaching kit or $100 off in-office accelerated whitening. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
October is Slingshot Month at Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith. We have a great selection of new Polaris Slingshots in stock, some with financing available as low as 1.99% for 36 months and 0 down payment with approved credit. Fall is the perfect time to get out and see the natural state in the new Slingshot from Wheeler Power Sports. Serving all over Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma. WheelerPowersports.com. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
From the Buffalo River to the Louisiana line, from the Texas and Oklahoma borders to the capital city and into the Delta, the natural beauty, the natural resources, and the hardworking citizens make Arkansas's 4th District more than just the heart of the natural state. It is a land of opportunity to raise families, to build communities, and to do our part for a brighter future. I'm Congressman Bruce Westerman. It's an honor to serve you. I approve this message and sincerely ask for your vote.
Paid for by Westerman for Congress.
Up to $10,000 off or $7,000 off and 0% financing on select 2024 GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off or take $7,000 in discounts and 0% financing with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
All you kids, anytime there's any problem, anytime somebody's, well, why don't you get YouTube TV?
Well,
Well, why don't you get Sling? Why don't you, I mean, you've always got the answer.
Right.
You've always got the answer.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I think we have information from the Situation Room. Is that what I'm understanding?
We do. We've been talking about LSU, Arkansas. Obviously, it's in Reynolds Razorback Stadium on Saturday night, and it's a great environment. At least it was for the Tennessee game. Expecting that again. LSU struggled at USC, both USCs, Southern Cal and South Carolina, on the road this year. This will be, I think, the toughest environment they've been in this year. So we go to the Situation Room, and Bart Pullman, executive producer,
standing by,
and lover of all things cooking, social media, Taylor Swift, bingo.
There we go.
If you haven't followed Bart on Twitter, by the way, I would really recommend that.
It's a train wreck.
Complete.
What do you got?
What do you have?
What do you got?
I digress. Straight.
I'm not even on Twitter.
Single.
I'm just talking.
He's
Go
single.
ahead.
He's available.
He's
Bart,
available.
you're available now. Go.
Yeah. So under Brian Kelly, which admittedly small sample size, but a couple of years there, LSU 2-5 against the spread as a road favorite, and they are 3-3 under Brian Kelly straight up as a ranked team on the road. So they have not exactly performed well on the road under Brian Kelly, and I think that's what you're going to see again on Saturday. I mean, we all think this is going to be a great game, and this is just more data that says, yeah, it probably will be.
Where's the smart money going?
It's all over the place right now. The line keeps going back and forth between 3 and 2.5. Thank you for asking, Chuck.
Where are all the Vanderbilt kids putting their money?
Where's the smart money going, Bart?
That's such a phrase, and nobody even knows what it means. What are the wise guys on? The sharp money's coming in on the,
I want to know what the smart guys are doing.
Well, I mean, look, hey,
where's Michael from Stuttgart when you need him?
No kidding. Put out an APB for
please.
Michael. The line opened at 6.5 last week.
I know.
Before,
and then it plummeted.
Before LSU and Ole Miss played, and obviously a lot of money came in on Arkansas after that game because the line went all the way down to 2.5,
Wow.
and it's gone back and forth between 2.5 and 3 throughout the week.
And you, just for the record, waiting on 3.5 before you make your move. Would that be correct?
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to go up?
I would like for it to get to 3.5. I don't know that it will.
See, you should have got on it at 6.5 last week.
Who's saying I didn't?
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
A slow realization clap. Nice.
Who's saying I didn't?
Nice.
Bart's going to single-handedly manipulate the line.
Can we just get into Bart's winnings this year?
Yeah. How much you won, Bart?
How much have you
Well,
I know you got a spreadsheet. I know you got a spreadsheet over there.
Yeah, I mean, we like to talk in terms of units and not dollars.
Units.
But it's
is a unit the same as a dollar though?
No, a unit's whatever your base bet amount is, Chuck.
Okay.
For some people it's $1. For some people it's $5.
Well, I'm
maybe
Mr.
$10.
Vegas, so,
maybe it's
$10,000,
$10,000.
yeah.
It's not $10,000 for me, but for some people it is.
You know what you don't get in gambling is a mulligan. It's National Mulligan.
It is National Mulligan
You don't
Day.
you don't get that back. How many times Hugh Freeze really wanted that Arkansas game back, right? 9 times they're going to win. They'd win the game.
I'm sure he wants mulligan on a lot of things.
Yeah, and he plays golf, and I'm sure he takes a mulligan here and there. Are you above a mulligan in golf? mulligan's what we think about or golf's what we think about when we talk mulligans. But, what's different in gambling and then in games like you're about to play on Saturday, you don't get that throw back. Remember when Tesla, they screwed it up? I looked into this, by the way. Remember when Tesla was running free in the Tennessee game and Taylor never looked at him? You think, man, Petrino just dialed something up, and I don't know how Taylor didn't see it, which I would think that if he dialed it up, he looked right at it. But they just screwed it up, and they brought a corner and a safety, like their communication on defense, and he never looked at that side of the field. Like, it happens.
Yeah.
But you're looking at it, watching the game, and you want to bench him. Like, if you're a fan, you're like, see, that's the stuff. And that's what we do. We react, get all emotional. But that's a mulligan. You want that back. It can change so many games. That's the difference when you're playing real golf. Like, if you think you're a scratch golfer or you're a 5 handicap, and then you go play in a tournament – and you get the pencil out and there's no change in it, that's a different game.
Do you guys bet when you play golf? You guys bet?
Oh.
Do you?
Yes.
If you
simple answer, yes.
If you play with the right people that really know how to manage all that stuff and do it well, and they play games like that, like Wolfhammer and that stuff, that's fun. But for me, like I'm just trying to hit my next shot.
That's exactly the way I am.
If you want to keep track of it, great. And if you want to play $5 a side or something, and that's like $5, like 9 the second.
See, I don't even do that.
18 over, but that's just like too much work.
I'll bet on a horse race in New Zealand, but I don't bet on golf.
Chuckle bet on the Chariots. But
I mean, I'll.
But it's fun.
I'm not betting on golf, man. It's too hard.
It makes it fun if somebody can set it up right, like the people at Unknown Golf who are friends of ours and have a great scoring app. If somebody can set it up. It actually enhances the experience, and it's quite fun because it really changes. Like, well, what was my overall score today? Which is.
It's always fun to have a little something on the line. Like it just makes it.
Look at he just got all giddy.
I know, man. He loves it. He loves it.
It increases it increases the competitive spirit, and the competitive spirit is a good thing. And you just like to have.
You gotta have some money
on
the table. You
It
gotta have a little
doesn't even
money
have to
on
be
the
money.
table.
It could be a lunch. It could be a dinner. It could be whatever.
Units.
Like Botox units. How many units of Botox do you want?
I don't know, man.
You should try that.
That's a whole different deal.
You should try that. You're on.
We're getting into your area now. We go from Bart to betting and Bo to Botox.
The best part about doing this show is I've got 13 years between me and you, and I'm thinking, what can I do with myself?
That's right.
That'll have me in a better spot than Chuck
For
is.
the love of
61.
God, I don't want to look like that.
That's my entire motivation.
Well, I'm glad to provide that for you.
Oh my gosh.
It's a long, hard ride, pal.
877-377-6963. By the way, the big game this weekend, Texas hosting Georgia. Okay.
What's the line on that, Bart?
Yeah, that's really interesting. I wrote this down this morning. That line has jumped several points. Texas is now a 5.5-point favorite in that game.
You wrote that down? You got up this morning that early and wrote that down?
Well, when
was
I
that
say
a personal note or was that
a
for the
mental
show?
note. It was for the show because it's
you.
interesting because it was at 2.5, 3.5, whatever it was, and now it's at 5.5.
Here's something
it's really interesting.
I'd be curious. Big time college football teams over the last 2-3 decades. How many top 5 matchups have they had at their stadium? Okay, even who would these teams be? That the last 10, 20 years, some of the best teams in college football. How many top 5 matchups have they had at their stadium? I found this intriguing, not fascinating, intriguing. Okay, we're off that word.
Interesting. Interesting.
No, I said it correctly. Number 1, Texas hosting a top 5 matchup at Darrell K. Royal Stadium for only the 3rd time. 1970, they played Arkansas in a top 5 matchup. 2006, they played Ohio State in a top 5 matchup. This is the only the 3rd top 5 matchup that Texas has played in its own stadium.
That's interesting.
Well, you think about Texas and you think about their success over the years, and what I would argue is they haven't really had to play a bunch of great teams. They were in the Big 12. And they play the OU game somewhere else.
They were the only ones ranked.
So Texas fans are in for a big game this week. Congratulations, guys.
Who you got?
Congratulations.
Texas or Georgia? What do you think? Who you got, Bart?
I got Georgia.
in like money line. Money line. You're going straight up Georgia.
Units on money line.
All right.
Units.
Subtract the units. Let's go straight money line. Bart, who you got?
Georgia.
I do too. See, I think Georgia's going to win.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You were just waiting to see if we agree with you.
I wanted to.
You wanted to check the pulse.
That's exactly what I wanted
Hall
to
of
do.
Famer Dan Hampton, the great Dan Hampton, former Razorback, will be honored at the game on Saturday night. Coming up next on the Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Everyone remembers the Florida A&M game, and later became known here in Pulaski County as Rattlergate.
Man, I've got some good news. Sweatinum Cosmetic is not just for females. Turns out us guys want to look and feel good too. Why be tired, lethargic, and overweight when we don't have to be? Sure, diet and exercise matter, but there can also be a lot more going on. For example, low testosterone is a real thing among many adult males, not just the old guys. I've heard about the weight loss shots and the low T ads before, and I've been skeptical. But then I stopped by my friend's office, Dr. Jeff Sweatinum. He showed me around that first-class facility and said, here's what we're doing for guys. It's called the Sweatinum Edge. You make an appointment, get a free evaluation covering 4 potential issues: hormones, weight loss, hair loss, and skin. Find out where you are and decide if treatment is right for you. Log on to SweatinumCosmetic.com, SweatinumCosmetic.com, and click on the Sweatinum Edge, or call 479-966-4174 and tell them you heard about the Sweatinum Edge on the Chuck and Bo Show.
There's nothing like a college football Saturday, a few beers, your phone, and Twitter.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Together we stand as tall as the Tower of Old Maid. Our memories are etched in stone like names on senior walk, and our blood flows Razorback red. For 100 years we've been hog wild, and today we continue the tradition. We are Arkansas Razorbacks.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh-made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure to get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those with outboards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center, 823 North 11th next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert. And this is Matt, and we're at the Stadium Shop on Razorback. Folks, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
No, it's not Christmas yet.
No, Mom, he's referring to football season.
Oh, speaking of football, guess what we just got in?
Season tickets? Sideline passes?
Well, close. We just started receiving the Nike sideline apparel like hats and polos.
Yeah, but did we get jerseys? Yeah, we got both kinds, cardinal and white.
We also have youth and adult sizes.
That's great. People have been asking for that for quite some time now. Matt, by the way, I did some research, and there's no shot for going viral. Oh, Lord. Mom, he's a goner.
Anyway, besides Nike, we also have Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many other brands.
All at the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, which is 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baumwalker Stadium. Matt, you tell them all about them interweb-based gram He means things. the website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Or give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Ty Richardson live at Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental. Galen, 50 years.
This will be our 50th year in business. A lot of customers get us confused as only a rental place where they rent for proms and weddings, but we've classically been the men's store in Fort Smith, Arkansas. We try to be a little different. You can come in and look different at Rainwater's.
When you stop by, make sure to tell Gale and his staff that Ty sent you.
Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, where it's fun to look good.
When I need a place to stay in Northwest Arkansas, I always choose the Inn at the Mill. It's centrally located in the heart of NWA at the Johnson exit off I-49 and is the most unique choice of hotels in the region. Whether you're in town for the game, a concert at the Amp, business travel, or just a weekend away, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious, clean room ready for you. Reserve your stay at the Inn at the Mill, 479-443-1800, or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
And their families said they'd never amount to anything. The Chuck and Bo Show.
They said that?
Yeah. They didn't say that about Dan Hampton, not after you got a good look at the Hall of Famer, former Razorback, All-American.
I can remember when he played. I was a kid, and those were some times that, you know, if you're an Arkansan and you remember those days, you'll never forget them. Those were just such fun teams, and beating Oklahoma, and those were things we'll never forget.
Pro Football Hall of Fame, inducted in 2002, won the Super Bowl in '85 with the Bears, number 4 pick of the draft in '79, and he's here with us now, going to be honored going into the College Football Hall of Fame this year. And Dan Hampton will be honored at Razorback Stadium on Saturday night. Dan, welcome to the Chuck and Bo Show. Thanks for making time for us today.
Hey, how are you guys doing? Hey, listen, thank you so much. And I was just like you. They said I would never amount to anything in high school. But, you know, that, and you know what? I think that was great that people, you know, would kind of admonish kids and say, hey, you know, you're going to be, you're going to be, a janitor or something. Just straighten up, make it. And now everybody's coddled. So I, just like you, I had to, fight the odds all the way.
What do you obviously have thoughts on that? Today's world and what you're watching play out with the transfer portal and NIL and the world we live in today. I mean, if you were coaching, Dan, how would you handle this?
Well, I got to tell you, I have great respect for coaches today, and it's a lot harder than it used to be. I remember, and at some point, I think it is relevant, but I remember, and it's a long time ago, but I remember when, Jimmy Johnson was our defensive coordinator, we would run until everybody vomited. I mean, and then we'd run bleachers. We'd run up and down the bleachers. I mean, every day was a survival test, and it kind of made us who we were. And I kind of think that, today everything's completely different. And like I just mentioned, everybody is, kind of like, oh, are you okay? And here's some – they wouldn't give us water. A couple of dudes died back in Pennsylvania the summer that I was up in Arkansas. And then all of a sudden everybody started saying, okay, it's okay to give them water. They wouldn't give us water. Mm-hmm. It was crazy. But, okay, the old Russian proverb, that does not kill me only makes me stronger. Well, it kind of applied back when I was playing. And it was a different time, different era. But, hey, I will tell you this. Nobody saw the Razorbacks 14-point underdogs beating Tennessee. So, Sam Pittman's doing something right, and I'm really proud of him, and I'm really happy to see the Hogs win.
Dan, let's go way back because I remember the way back. And you talk about coming from the back of the pack You were not a guy, and you can kind of walk us through this. You had some, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, there were some physical issues that kept you from playing football until your junior year in high school. And then it just kind of took off after that. Can you walk us through sort of how your football existence as we know it now came to be back then?
Well, and again, and not that I was something special, but my father developed pancreatic cancer and he died when I was in 8th grade. Now, in 6th grade, I fell out of a tree and I was in a wheelchair for about 4 months. And so I had all these obstacles and, I didn't know what I was going to do, and at one point, it was one of those deals that you just kind of say, hey, out of self-defense, I'm going to, try to do something. And I was very fortunate that Jacksonville High School had a reasonably new coach named Bill Reed. And Bill Reed is in, everybody's high school coaches Hall of Fame. He was unbelievable. He was great. And anyway, he gave me an opportunity. He said, look, you've got a big frame, you never know. And it was kind of left up to me, and through some, good coaching and a lot of effort. And I will tell you that, and I've tried to tell my son that, Dick used to say the NFL has a lot more hard workers than just great talent. Talent is wonderful, but hard work, I think, is more important. And I worked hard, and some good things happened. But again, would I have ever been able to do what I did without coaches like Jimmy Johnson and Harold Horton and Lou Holtz and Monty Kiffin at Arkansas? Probably not. So I was blessed, and kind of like, what would you say, a hidden hand. It was like, okay, you did this. Okay, well, what else can you do? And I kept pushing myself. And I know this, and I'm looking forward to seeing some of my old teammates this weekend up on the hill, guys like R.C. Tillman and Mike Massey and Jim Howard and hopefully Mark Lewis, guys that, that we all wanted. Nobody anointed us. We just said, you can't stop us. And we just kept working, and we played hard. And a lot of people can't believe that, I was a part of, in my 4 years, we won a Cotton Bowl. We won a Fiesta Bowl. We won a Orange Bowl. Yeah, will the Hogs ever go to 3 major bowls like that again? Maybe not. But, we did it, and I was just, I hate to say, I was running with the crowd. We were all trying to be as good as we could be.
Dan Hampton, Hall of Famer, 2002 into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, going to the National Football Hall of Fame as a college Hall of Famer. Now being honored, will be saluted at the game on Saturday night. First round, number 4 overall pick to the Bears back in 79. Sometimes when you're younger, you hear old guys talking about how it was back then and all that. But I think sometimes history really impacts where we are today to understand it a little bit. And I'm curious, Dan, just, I know one of your great friends, Matt Watts, and he's been so good to kind of keep you connected to certain people here. And you've been in Chicago a lot of your life, and I know you've done a lot of media stuff there. But when you think back about Arkansas and you think about those times you were mentioning, when people don't understand this place, what do you tell them about the state of Arkansas and your roots and what makes this state different maybe than some other places?
It's unlike any other. You go to Ann Arbor, Michigan, and it's just part of Detroit, basically, and it's just it is what it is. But Fayetteville was always a separate entity unto itself, and the days we used to bounce for Willie Nelson, on Friday night before the game. I mean, down at the swinging door. I mean, it was a different time.
I remember.
And we didn't think there was anything about it. There was a bar called the Library, and when Coach Holtz would say, "Where were you last night?" I said, "The library." I said, okay. I mean, it was crazy. We had, and you know what? The more I talked to different players, different guys, played at, Texas or Penn State or wherever. The more I realized, playing at Arkansas was such a treat unto itself. The campus, the fact that we had a dorm, and everything is different now. You can't put the genie back in the bottle, but these kids that'll be suiting up this weekend, they don't know what it was like to live next door to Sidney Moncrief. It was unbelievable, and everybody had like a affinity for each other, and it was a brotherhood, and it was great. It was truly great, and it was hard. And like I said, we used to pour blood out of our shoes. They'd run us so hard, the blisters would rip open, and it would be bad. But we knew it was for the common good and the big team goal. And we did a lot of really, really amazing things there. And by the way, I had the privilege of playing with such great players, like Bo Busby. Bo Busby is a heart surgeon in Pine Bluff now. But was there a better teammate, a more fierce competitor than Bo? I don't think so. Gerald Skinner, Leotis Harris. I mean, all of these guys were, and you kind of, I know it sounds kind of rinky-dink and kind of weird, but hey, you didn't want to let them down. You played and trained to the best of your ability because you wanted to be part of the team, and everybody wanted to be great. It was truly a special time.
Well, Dan, we appreciate you spending a few minutes with us. We hope you enjoy your time on campus and Saturday. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for a Hog Pod interview. Great representation of the Razorbacks in the state of Arkansas. Congrats on all your success, and thanks for making some time for us today.
Gentlemen, I got to tell you, I'm so happy the Hogs are doing well, and I'm so honored to go into the College Football Hall of Fame. Who would have thought? Skinny kid out of the band from Jacksonville High School. Someday, you never know what is possible. Just keep your head down and keep swimming. That's all I can say. Hey, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dan. What a thrill.
That's awesome. That is a real thrill.
He was talking about concerts. I saw Heart in 1979, Barton Coliseum or Barnhill Arena, and Hampton, Steve Court. I think back then that's a name people will remember. These guys were all the security at concerts at Barnhill Arena. Every concert that came through there,
they were the bouncers.
They were in front of the stage.
Yeah.
It would be lined up with football players, and every once in a while they'd brace their backs on the stage and they'd all put their feet on the wooden barricade and they'd push. And it was like the entire crowd moved back about 5 or 6 feet. But all those guys, every concert I went to when I was in high school and college at Barnhill Arena, there were football players in front of the stage. And they were the bouncers, basically, is what it boiled down to.
I'm not saying this is a good idea, but it does come to mind that maybe that's an Arkansas Edge NIL fundraiser.
It could be.
Security at concerts.
There you go.
7:47. It's the Chuck and Bo Show on a Thursday. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I think that having Brian, allowing him to call in occasionally, is a healthy reminder of why you don't like Texas.
Hey, if you're thinking about buying or selling a home, now more than ever, it's important to partner with a well-trained real estate professional, someone who understands all the ins and outs of the game and makes sense of all the things we read about in the real estate market every day. That's why I've partnered with Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, from the very beginning. And that's why I recommend them to you. I remember the first time I bought a home. I didn't have any idea what was going on. They did, fortunately, and they guided me through the process. They listened. And perhaps that's the most important thing. You want someone on your side of the table who understands your needs and who listens. Now, they've got offices in Northwest Arkansas. They're in Fayetteville and Bentonville. They're in the River Valley as well in Fort Smith. You hear us talking about their office in Branson. You're going to see their yellow signs all over town. And you can log on to WeichertGriffin.com. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
You know, there's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state, and you can add Flyway Brewing to the list. A craft brewery with roots in North Little Rock dating back to 2013. With popular flavors like Blue Wing Berry Wheat Ale, the Honeybird Blonde, and the Early Bird IPA, there's no shortage to enjoy a tasty craft beer flight at the Flyway Brewery in Fayetteville, 1550 East Zion Road, or in North Little Rock at 314 Maple Street. Flyway Craft Beer, also available in restaurants and stores everywhere.
Now is the time to join Hogs Plus, the Netflix for Razorback fans.
Arkansas wins it. Here they come.
Documentaries, exclusive interviews,
People everywhere, and then, next thing you know, it's just everybody's packed.
insider access, and an incredible library of films.
Arkansas leads it by 3.
A membership like no other.
I don't think it gets any better than this.
Oh, you're giving me goosebumps now.
Start your free trial today at hogsplus.com.
It's basketball time in the Palace. Call the Hogs with head coach John Calipari and the Razorback men's basketball team as they tip off the season with a historic matchup against Bill Self and the Kansas Jayhawks right here inside Bud Walton Arena. This charity exhibition game is Coach Cal's first as head Hog and will take place on Friday, October 25th, 8 p.m. For more details, visit ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
What's your Oaklawn? Is it hitting the slots for fun and high fives? Or having a round at Silk's Bar and Grill before the action? Play your way at Oaklawn's 24/7 non-smoking casino. With 1,500 slot machines, live roulette, craps, and blackjack, a sports book where you can watch and wager on your favorite games and live entertainment at Pop's Lounge, you'll never run out of fun. It's time for more winning and more excitement at Oaklawn. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Good morning, Smack Daddy. What's happening?
What's up, Bald Brotherhood?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett at River Valley Smile Center. You may know me as your local dentist, but I'm a giant Hogs, Dolphins, and college baseball fan as well. Listen to me, Phil, and Matt talk about our 3 ups and downs for the weekend every Monday on halftime at 12:15. At River Valley Smile Center, we're a comprehensive dental facility that offers children's dentistry, dental implants, sedation, whitening, and much, much more. Dr. Cole Johnson, Dr. Hannah Cave, and myself are located at 8309 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. River Valley Smile Center. When you come here, you become family.
End-of-season savings are yours right now on Kubota hay equipment at Gray Brothers, including the new DM Series disc mowers, or try Kubota's DM Series trail mowers. And for the prettiest bale of hay on the market, try Kubota's VV Series round baler. With Gray Brothers' low pricing and great interest rates from Kubota, it's time for your new hay equipment. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, and we're inside of Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. I'm with my guy, Josefa. Today, it was the French toast turkey melt, but other daily specials every single day.
Yeah, Ty, we just kind of want everybody to know that we're not just sandwiches around here. We have all kinds of different specials. There's always something different right here at Lily's Sandwich Shop.
Award-winning Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. Don't believe me? Talk to Lily.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I got two things I want to talk about real quick, and I'll get out of your hair.
We don't have any hair, Sterling. Another great line. Thank you.
That's a good pun there. Nicely played, Sterling.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Bart's got important information.
How about Dan Hampton just rattling off all the old bars?
I know,
in
I
Fayetteville?
love that. And I've been to every
That
one of
guy-
them.
Hey, listen, I know sometimes we can get nostalgic and we can go way back, but I'm just telling you, the older you get, you realize it's so fascinating. Well, can't say it. Interesting to hear.
Jar.
Half a penalty. So interesting to hear just some of those moments. Anyhow, what do you have, Bart?
Yeah, so you know how we've talked about before, Chuck especially, your disdain for the Flow Sports subscription that you can't cancel.
Yeah.
Other subscriptions that maybe you can't cancel. Well, the Federal Trade Commission released a new rule called Click to Cancel, which says online subscriptions should require the same amount of clicks to end as they do to sign up.
Wow. That's big news.
So no more getting trapped into
Yeah.
subscriptions you don't want.
Right. Speaking of nostalgia, in 10 years from now, we'll be talking about that going into effect.
Well, yeah. So what you're telling me is if it takes me 20 minutes to sign up for something,
6
it
months.
should take me 20 minutes to cancel.
6 months is the is when it's
Does
supposed
this
to be.
also apply to customer service calls? Like when you call to buy, you have no problems understanding the person on the other end of the line. When you call to cancel, it is not the same thing.
Suddenly there's a language barrier.
There is. It's called the cancel barrier. That's what it's called.
You just give up.
Oh, well, that's good news. I'm also waiting to get removed from that do not call list that I signed up for years ago that apparently was sold to spammers. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. It's almost 8 o'clock. It's in the 30s on a Thursday.
Ty Story, high school football coach and former college quarterback.
I love coaching, but it's a lot more fun after LASIK. Now when I'm coaching, I can focus on my players and not my eyes. After LASIK, my eyes are even better than before when I had glasses or wore contacts. The McDonald Eye Team was great. They put me at ease. I couldn't believe how well I was seeing the day after surgery. Good vision and good football go together. I'm really glad I trusted my eyes to McDonald Eye Associates.
See your best with safe and affordable LASIK from McDonald Eye Associates. Register for your free consultation at mcdonaldeye.com.
You know, for me, when it comes to finding the perfect diamond, there's just one name that stands above the rest in Northwest Arkansas. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. As the region's premier experts for diamonds, Blakeman's offers an unparalleled selection of brilliant stones, hand-picked for their quality and beauty. And they don't just help you find the perfect stone, they educate you every step of the way. So whether it's a proposal, celebrating an anniversary, or maybe just treating yourself, Blakeman's is where your search ends and your story begins.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
How was Saturday night for you after the game? What'd you do to celebrate?
The only remedy, I thought maybe get a few cold beers in there, maybe help it out a little bit.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700. ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, an increase in the sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon climbing into the upper 60s. Clear and pretty brisk as we head through the night. Overnight low will drop down upper 30s. Friday, lots of sunshine, a high in the low 70s. And then Saturday, a bounty of sunshine, highs on Saturday close to 75. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure to get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those without boards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center. 823 North 11th next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
From the Bushlight Studios, this is ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
You sure this is legal? I don't know. It's fun though, isn't it?
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics, 16 years in the industry. Cecil, this is the one-stop shop.
Yes, Jazzco Graphics Design, the one-stop shop, 2415 Midland, for your custom or buck order.
Why ESPN 95.3?
I really enjoy listening in, and it keeps my day going while I'm at work. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witz Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Megabass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witz Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We're live at First Financial Mortgage. My friend Ethan Adamson. Ethan, I got a good recommendation from a friend. You go to your Google reviews right now, you guys are at 4.9 for First Financial Mortgage.
Yeah, we've got the most Google reviews by any lending company in the River Valley by more than double. We really pride ourselves on those Google reviews, try to make everyone's experience really well, and that way they'll refer us to other people. Call 479-782-9300. Weekdays 8 to 5, ffb1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
What is happening? I thought I was going to lean on you guys today. You guys are a technical mess. Chuck gets in here. Bart, where's the charger? My computer just died. What do you not know?
That
You're
is
on
true.
the air today?
No, I knew I was on the air. I knew Bart would be here.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a call play, and I called it.
A show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm ready to roll right now, Bo.
Can you believe we're doing this?
This brings back.
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio. Let's make another excuse for this jackwater.
That's right.
Presented by First Security Bank. By Kurt Realtors, the Griffin Company. Pasco Air, Plumbing and Electric. Flight by Yingling and Fayetteville Auto Park. And now, Chuck and Bo.
Did you notice how Dan Hampton called Fayetteville Fayetteville?
Yeah.
That was like the common, that was the common reference back in the day. I love that. Lots of people, I'm sure, were listening.
When Fayetteville was hard to get to.
Yeah.
It's not hard to get to anymore.
No.
But at one time.
That's right. Everything changed when they built that big super road. By the way, super road. By the way,
that was very close to the first spit the coffee out moment. He about got me.
That's what I was going for there. Taylon Green's playing. Now, here's the thing about these injury reports, and I know they're all new.
Taylon Green.
Yeah, he's going to play.
Is listed as?
He's not listed.
Not at all.
When a player's not listed on the injury report, he's not injured. That's kind of how it works. And he's not on the injury report, and everyone goes, what's going on with Taylon Green? Well, he's not injured. He's going to play. Otherwise, he'd be on the injury report. Arkansas has 2 guys on the injury report. Braxton's out, and Rodney Hill's a maybe, is what it boils down to. Other than that, nobody's listed. That means Patrick Kudus could play.
Luke Haas, who's missed a lot,
and
or been hurt a lot.
It means Taylon Green's going to start.
And I don't think he's missed a single practice.
I don't think he's missed a step. Now, they did a lot, and Pittman talked about this. They did a little more walkthrough last week than you might normally in an open week. You might want to scrimmage a little bit more, but they just weren't in a spot where they could do that from a health perspective. They couldn't afford to lose anybody else, or they wouldn't have the kind of scout team that they need to have to get ready for this game. And so they scaled that back, but they still had walkthroughs every day. And he took part in everything they did. So he'll be fine.
Can we say
night.
this about Taylon from the Tennessee game? And the injury kind of made us forget about it a little bit, the way the game ended, Singleton having to come in and finish it off, and Arkansas wins a close game, which is another thing that's been talked about quite a bit. These are all things that we've seen improve, like the close games being the latest point there. But with Taylon, he had his best game throwing the football. He has a set outside of the Pine Bluff game. He was 70% throwing the ball. He was getting better, looking better. So what's he going to be like with a bye week, healed up, the team with the confidence of the way they played? When I look at all of this, it just makes me it makes me more excited about the game. I know I'm not taking anything away from LSU, but I've just believed throughout the season, I've believed that Arkansas was a better team than anybody was realizing. They went out and made all the moves in the offseason I felt like that were important. The defense, all the moves they made on defense that have paid off. And it changes week to week, matchup to matchup. We can qualify all of that. But when you just look at all of the situation surrounding this game, it feels like a game that Arkansas should be favored in.
Well, I think you said it a little bit earlier. Essentially, this is a money line game. I mean, I know LSU's 2.5 and Bart's pulling for 3.5, but essentially it's a pick'em kind of game. And Green could be the difference maker. And you were talking about his completion percentage in the last game. One of the things that I look for, and I'm not saying this is the end-all be-all, I'm just saying I look for it. I like seeing the number of catches what I would call a secondary receiver makes, secondary wideout, beyond Armstrong. Satania had 5 catches in the last game. A lot of those were on what I would call a shallow cross. Mm-hmm. And I think what you're seeing as the season wears on, think about the tunnel screen on the last drive. Now, I know Singleton threw that one, but think about the screen pass too. I think Coach Petrino's done a really good job with Green primarily and Singleton there at the end at calling for throws they can make. And I think that had a lot to do with their success against Tennessee. That percentage, if you get Taylon Green up to 60%, over the course of his career, and I'm not talking about, I don't know if it'll get there this year. That's why I said earlier, I sure would like to see those guys have a second year together. You get that guy's completion percentage up to 60% with the way he can run the ball, that guy's going to be lethal.
A lot of factors go into that, right? If you want to talk ball for a second, can we just talk ball?
Break it down.
Can we get into the sports talk part of the show?
Go ahead.
You want to talk ball?
Yeah.
A lot of factors go into that. The confidence of the guys around you. Let's start with the offensive line. If the offensive line believes in themselves and Taylon believes in the offensive line, we can all talk about him missing open receivers. But when you're constantly running for your life and when you're constantly uncomfortable, even when it works out and you have an open guy, you don't play with the same energy, vibe, mojo, all of that stuff. when you got a little bit of a groove going. What I thought happened last week is their ability to pick up 2 or 3 yards on the run. Like, there would be open holes, and they would close quickly, and it'd be a 3-yard gain. You thought it was going to be a 6-yard gain. But they stuck with the run, and they stuck with 3rd and short and 4th and short situations. And that created this opportunity to really open the playbook up on short-yarded situations where the defense isn't sure what you're going to do. If you're in 3rd and long and all that stuff all the time, it's troublesome. And that's what Arkansas's defense did to Tennessee. But I see, we talked about this last week. You get to this point in the season, everybody's been figuring out, almost everybody in the country, maybe besides Texas, but even them to an extent, what your identity is, because you didn't have all these players last year. You didn't know what you could do when you went into the season. You got to see them get out and perform, and when they do, they develop some confidence, and it feels like we're not at practice every day, and a lot of things happen in practice that we don't see and we don't know. But what it feels like and what you're hearing these guys say is they're starting to understand who they are and what they can do. And that's powerful.
It's interesting you bring that up because I don't know. You look at even the top teams in the country. We see Georgia a lot. We see Alabama a lot. We kind of know what their identity is. But when you have so many teams that are dominated by new players, the idea that you're going to develop an identity, the idea that you're going to be a team, before you hit the middle of October, I just don't know if it's possible to do that. I don't know that you can develop an identity until you face real adversity. And Texas is an example. I'm not knocking Texas, but the schedule being what it is, they have not faced an enormous amount of adversity. When you look at the schedule, there may not be that many times when they do, but that to me is how you build your identity as a team. And Arkansas, through 6 games, they've had some trials and tribulations, that's for sure. They've also had some moments where they've looked really, really good. And they've had moments where they left everybody scratching their head or worse. And but that's all part of forging an identity. And I just don't know in this modern era of college football if you can do it as quickly as you once could. In fact, I'm pretty sure you can't.
So LSU's identity so far has been not a great running game. They're gonna spread it out.
Been that quarterback.
You got to keep them from having a running game. You got to try to keep them one-dimensional. I think now they'll probably come in and try to run the ball, and does Arkansas have an answer for that? But if they do, and you have them throwing the ball the whole game. Here's a stat I saw that was somewhat surprising to me. I don't know if it surprised anyone else. It's on the front page of the game notes that since Sam Pittman's first year as head coach in 2020, Arkansas has totaled 53 interceptions on defense. Not 53 interceptions, which is 3rd most among SEC teams behind only South Carolina and Georgia. Did you have the Arkansas secondary as the 3rd most ball hawking team in the league since Pittman got here?
So I did not have that, no.
I mean, and when you want to start, like, what's the biggest key to Arkansas so far this year? If you just boil it down to one thing, what is it? We all know what it is. What's the one thing that has kept Arkansas from winning 2 games?
Turnovers.
You got a pass-heavy team coming in, really good quarterback. But sometimes with a team like that, you just bend, don't break, kind of keep things in front of you a little bit, and eventually you get one. And you don't give it back. And in a game like this, I mean, again, everything I look at in this game just makes me think, wow, this is not a terrible matchup for Arkansas.
I think it's a good matchup for Arkansas if they don't turn the ball over. As we've seen already, if they don't even have to win the turnover battle sometimes. They just got to get a push. You can't lose it. If they can avoid turnovers Saturday night, I think Arkansas has got a real good chance to win the game. Now, having said that, LSU's got a real good chance to win the game if they don't turn it over too.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're right that they're going to come in and try to run the ball. Here's the one thing that Arkansas was able to do against Tennessee from a defensive standpoint. They negated their running game with 3 down linemen. We saw at times last year, and we've seen before, when Arkansas went to 3 down linemen, the other guys ran wild. And Pittman said this last night. He said, I had some concerns. When we implemented this game plan for Tennessee, he said, I was worried. We wouldn't be able to stop the run with that. But they were able to do that. Can they do it Saturday night again? If they can, then some of the things they were able to do effectively against Tennessee, maybe you're able to do against LSU too. But if you can't, it becomes advantage LSU then.
Serious ball talk, boys.
Yeah, that's as good as it
Serious
gets. Serious
ball
right there.
talk. 877-377-6963. Chuck and I will be hosting college football today, later on ESPN. Not available on channels anywhere, but we'll be doing that. By the way, I feel like we should immediately go into something non-serious as it relates to ball, which is pasta. It's National Pasta Day.
Is it really?
It is national. What's your favorite national, any pasta, Chuck? Mac and cheese?
I'm not a pasta guy, man.
Ramen?
Yeah, ramen. I like a good bag of ramen noodles.
I'll tell you. It's a single dad's best friend.
No, let
ramen
me tell
and
you
mac and
something.
cheese.
I'm just going to tell you. You can go back
Kids love
30 or 40 years. I ate so much ramen and so much macaroni and cheese, like I don't think I've had any of that in 25 years. It used to be like a daily staple, and so I don't do it anymore.
Good chicken parm.
Chicken parm's
Chicken
okay.
Alfredo.
Chicken Alfredo's
Cajun
okay.
Alfredo.
It's okay.
That sounds so basic, but man, it's good. Do you have any pasta at the
I'm not big on
Catfish
pasta, I'm
Home?
telling you. It's just not my thing.
When Petrino was the head coach.
Sugar. It just converts into sugar.
You could confirm this. When
What's
Petrino
that?
was the head coach, I think they made him a special dish at the Catfish Hole, and it was spaghetti.
I really don't remember that.
What, really?
I remember one
You don't
time.
remember details like that?
I remember one time we were at a Razorback Club meeting, and it was spaghetti night, and I didn't know it was going to be spaghetti night, and I was wearing a white shirt. And as I twirled it, I got a little on my shirt, and I can remember Petrino looking over going, that's what you get for wearing a white shirt to a
that's
spaghetti
exactly
dinner.
right.
Well,
Yeah.
I didn't know.
That's exactly
I didn't
right.
know.
Well, those are the God made a DJ,
That's
Chuck. You got to
right.
know stuff
I
like
didn't
that.
know we were. I didn't know
You
we
gotta know
were
when the
headed
band
toward a
plays,
spaghetti
you gotta
dinner.
know what the meal's
What time
gonna
the
be.
band takes the stage.
Yeah.
It's important to
I'll
know.
tell you this little tip for those of you, Bart, going out on a date anytime soon. I wouldn't don't go ribs first date.
Yeah.
No, that's a poor choice.
Right. Well, even you know that. That's
You
good.
can eat seafood.
What does that even mean?
I guess
What does
that's
that
not
even
fair.
mean?
Since we're here, you're experienced on first dates. Tell us more. Like, what are some other pro tips?
Well, I mean, like Italian food's always a good bet.
Is it really?
Yeah.
How many second dates have you had? I'm just asking.
That's totally out of bounds. That was not the topic.
I'm just asking.
That was not the topic.
I'm just
That was
asking.
a tough follow-up question.
Well, I'm
Dang.
just sitting here telling you. I'm
Dang.
just sitting here listening to him.
How many have you had?
Well, not very many.
8:16. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. Who knows what's going to happen next?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Guys, first and foremost, congratulations on the official launch of the Chuck and Bo Show. I want to know, how did you guys decide which name went first, Chuck or Bo? Was that a flip of the coin?
Fayetteville Auto Park has been Northwest Arkansas's premier automotive dealer for a long time. There's a reason for that. It starts with great brands: Acura, Chevrolet, Honda, Toyota. Plus, they've got a huge pre-owned inventory. They've got an on-site collision center. And that really is what makes them your one-stop automotive headquarters. The best brands, the best people, the best service, and the best selection. Whatever your automotive needs, Fayetteville Auto Park.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, I'm Taylor Green, Arkansas QB, and these two guys definitely have a face for radio.
End of season savings are yours right now on Kubota hay equipment at Gray Brothers, including the new DM Series disc mowers, or try Kubota's DM Series trail mowers. And for the prettiest bale of hay on the market, try Kubota's BV Series round baler. With Gray Brothers low pricing and great interest rates from Kubota, it's time for your new hay equipment. That's Gray Brothers equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
Bow season is underway, and Jelco Outdoors has all your archery and hunting equipment to help you bag that big buck. Select new compound bows by Bowtech, Elite, and Hoyt. Save $200 off. Beartech crossbow packages, now only $329.99. Save $200 off select Raven crossbows, clothing, boots, tree stands, saddle equipment, feeders, nut grub, and grunt calls. Jelco has it all for you. Good luck and safe hunting. And remember, a great hunt begins at Jelco Outdoors.
From the Buffalo River to the Louisiana line, from the Texas and Oklahoma borders to the capital city and into the Delta, the natural beauty, the natural resources, and the hardworking citizens make Arkansas's 4th District more than just the heart of the natural state. It is a land of opportunity to raise families, to build communities, and to do our part for a brighter future. I'm Congressman Bruce Westerman. It's an honor to serve you. I approve this message and sincerely ask for your vote.
Paid for by Westerman for Congress.
Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing on all 2024 Buick Encore GXs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Encore GX is a boldly styled 5-person SUV that is ready to reward. Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing for well-qualified buyers. This is a limited time offer. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Are you doing give him a fist bump and raise your fingers
They just
up?
kind of look at you
some
like, hey,
big
cool,
thing?
yeah, cool.
He's bro.
You're a dude.
He's my bro.
Bro.
Yeah.
Chuck told me,
Bro,
don't call me bro.
Y'all need some help.
I said, we were having some discussion off the air with it, and I said, bro, don't call me bro. Do not call me bro.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Chuck doesn't really enjoy having a relationship with his colleagues. He likes to keep work and personal life separate. And I want to tell you, I've done a really good job of just busting through that barrier. I mean, I try to text him.
We're talking about way too much
I'll
personal
call
stuff.
him and talk to him. People, you know, we all live the same lives in some way, Chuck. I mean, it's part of being personable. And I've learned a lot in the break about Chuck's eating habits, his life. Not all of it will be talked about here, but at a moment's notice, any of it could be. And I feel like you and Bart might want to clean up your relationship a little bit.
Jeez.
I mean, it sounded, kind of personal.
I did not mean it in a personal way. He was talking about how Italian food is always a great way to start a relationship, and the natural question after that is, well, how'd it go the second time around?
It went perfectly fine, Chuck.
Well, see,
and the third.
That's all I wanted to know.
Have you tried?
That's all I wanted to know.
Have you tried Panda?
You guys are too defensive.
You tried Panda?
No, that's not on the list.
Bart likes a good craft cocktail opener.
Does he really?
And then he moves into an Italian joint.
I got you.
Yeah.
What's the go-to drink?
Well, I mean, I'm a fan of a good old fashioned.
Okay, all right. It shows your sophistication when you order that, which is always important.
Don't make the mistake, especially this time of year, Chuck, of telling Bart, "Hey, I'm rolling through Starbucks. If you want anything, pumpkin spice latte." And you order that with a smile on your face.
Yeah.
Pull around to the window, and they're looking at you like,
you're gonna have to go get that yourself. Yeah. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to go get that yourself.
I mean, this is brutal.
Well, I mean, it's better than Bielema's eggnog latte.
Yeah, well.
Hey, why can't eggnog be year-round? That was a quote from the Bean Bread Bielema show.
His hot take.
But anyhow, we digress. I mean, it's National Pasta Day, and that's how the whole thing came up. But I should also mention Eminem, if you want to feel young, is 52 today. Alan Jackson is 66. Happy birthday to
Way down yonder.
Doug McMillon, CEO of Walmart. 58. So happy birthday to those. And if it's your birthday, happy birthday to you. Hey, Kirby Smart caught some flack over the weekend, and maybe rightfully so. There was a video that emerged, as it always does, on social media, as if like Connor Stallion shot it with his cell phone. But Kirby is on the sideline, and it's his sideline. The Mississippi State quarterback has gotten over into their bench area. Michael Van Buren is their quarterback, and Kirby appears to have shoved him. So that's been brought up throughout the week, and here's what the Georgia head coach had to say about the incident.
Didn't even realize that I had run into him, but I reached out to Levy that night and talked to him, and he said the kid was great. And then yesterday I talked to Mike and told him, I had no intentions or ill will towards him at all. It was
That's the QB.
If you've ever been on the sideline in a game, it's pandemonium. It's really pandemonium when you're trying to change personnel and you only got 3 to 4 seconds to do it. And we were bad off in a bad personnel grouping against Empty that we actually had messed up the week before. And so I was trying to get to Schumann to get that changed. But I reached out to the kid. He was great. He's a really good player. He's going to be a good player in this league, and he played better as the game went on against us.
And he throws out the proverbial compliment to the quarterback that he shoved at the end. The question is, do you believe Kirby? He said Levy, the head coach at Mississippi State, and then he talked to the quarterback. But my question is, do you believe what he said there in the middle about, it's pandemonium, it's chaos on the sideline? I'll give you my thought in a second. I'm just curious, Bart, do you agree with Kirby on this, that he really didn't know that he actually even did that?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really.
You haven't been on enough sidelines. We got to get you down there in the scrum.
I understand that type of stuff happens, but to me, and this is me just watching the video as it circulated on social media, it seemed to me like Kirby sought him out and shoved him out of the way. It did not seem like he was just trying to get people out of his way or anything.
I think that happens every day on a practice field.
All the time.
Every single day. What you saw right there, a coach pushing somebody out of the way. Now, look, he should have been penalized. There should have been a 15-yard penalty. But the idea now that you can come back and make up for the fact they didn't call that by suspending him, that's out of line too. I don't think what he did was that big a deal. I do think there should have been a penalty. I want to be clear on that. They should have thrown a flag. And if it had been most coaches in the league, they would have been flagged. Sam Pittman had done that. He'd have been flagged. I don't have any doubt in my mind about that. But in the grand scheme of things, I think his explanation's perfectly believable.
You know what? I'd like to change.
Okay.
I'd like to change my opinion.
All right.
See, now this is that right there is a beautiful human. Not because you agree, but I love when we can listen to something and change our opinion. Why do we feel like we can't? What makes us feel like we can't do that?
What do you think now, Bart?
Here's the thing. If you look on social media, and this is social media in a nutshell, right? The videos that I had seen were all cropped in a very specific way where you can't see the whole play develop. You can't see everything that's happening. It's just focused in on that one player. And if you actually look at the whole thing, the whole video, yeah, it was clearly not like Kirby Smart going out of his way to shove the player.
This is not Woody Hayes and Clemson.
No, it's certainly not. And so yes, I would just like to say I changed my opinion. I don't think it's a big deal. I do think Kirby still should have been penalized.
I agree with you. But I think a lot of the outcry, I think a lot of the outcry now is from people who think he should have been penalized, and they look at it and say, well, he's going to get off scot-free.
Okay,
they got to do something.
There's two things just from listening to y'all talk that I want to bring up.
Go ahead.
The first is, I don't know if you realize, maybe you do. To me, what you said there was so profound. And we should all take a moment, and I'm serious. What you just described is the world that we are living in on social media. Snapshot, my view, let me show you my view, not give you the entire picture, and then you develop your own view. And we go into stuff with a bias, and it's just very profound. And it's so true. And if you just want to narrow it down to something as silly as sports, imagine being a coach. Imagine knowing all of the things. We only know one of them, and we all react in a massive way, which is why we try to do a little bit less of that on the show. And we don't always do it. But that picture, like you said, once I saw the whole picture, it changed my mind.
You're a model for mankind, Bart.
All right, the second point.
Thanks, Chuck.
You're welcome.
The second point is the difference in y'all saying the word. Chuck, I don't know, Chuck.
Did you feel like you needed to make that up to me or something?
No,
Chuck?
I was trying to let you know I'm still in your corner.
You know, nobody says tomato that I know. But we say tomato, tomato. Chuck says penalized. You say penalized. I say penalized. Chuck says penalized.
Do I?
You
I
sure
haven't
do.
noticed that.
You sure do. You did it twice in 60 seconds.
I haven't noticed
and then
that.
I couldn't let the second one go.
Well, thank you. I didn't notice that. I need more self-awareness.
I will say that's like you went to like upstate New York College of whatever.
Ithaca.
Yeah, there.
Yeah.
We're definitely not Vanderbilt. I don't think they even allow that there.
No. They barely let me go on the campus to
penalized.
Do a game
Are you doing it like a lecture today?
I didn't notice. It's just the way I talk.
8:29, the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Rick's in Fayetteville. Rick, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, good morning, guys. It's a privilege to talk with you guys, and I love the Razorbacks.
Man, I've got some good news. Sweatinum Cosmetic is not just for females. Turns out us guys want to look and feel good too. Why be tired, lethargic, and overweight when we don't have to be? Sure, diet and exercise matter, but there could also be a lot more going on. For example, low testosterone is a real thing among many adult males, not just the old guys. I've heard about the weight loss shots and the low T ads before, and I've been skeptical. But then I stopped by my friend's office, Dr. Jeff Sweatinum. He showed me around that first-class facility and said, here's what we're doing for guys. It's called the Sweatinum Edge. You make an appointment, get a free evaluation covering 4 potential issues: hormones, weight loss, hair loss, and skin. Find out where you are and decide if treatment is right for you. Log on to SweatinumCosmetic.com, SweatinumCosmetic.com, and click on the Sweatinum Edge, or call 479-966-4174 and tell them you heard about the Sweatinum Edge on the Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You hear that? You hear that?
Back to Save Sports Radio.
Touchdown, Arkansas!
We fought back. We took a punch, and we answered back.
He's going to go! Johnson's at midfield, and there he goes! 98 yards. I saw it, but I'm not sure I believe it.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
When a Neumeyer's involved, you know you're going to get great food and have an awesome time. Hey, Ty Richardson for Neumeyer's Rib Room and Beer Garden. They've been whipping up the best ribs, tamales, and smoked wings for years. Rib Room has live bands for you through the month of October and game day specials. For to-go orders, call 479-494-7427. Neumeyer's Rib Room and Beer Garden, located at 424 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith.
Celebrate your pastor at the Solid Rock this month. October is Pastor Appreciation Month, and to help you celebrate, the Solid Rock is giving you a $5 gift card to give to your pastor with any purchase of $50 or more. And while you're there, be sure to check out the wonderful assortment of items that would make great Pastor Appreciation gifts. Celebrate Pastor Appreciation Month at the Solid Rock, the store that honors Christ all year long, off South 74th near Sam's Club.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above also offers tree and limb removal. Don't forget hauling and dumpster rental as well. More than just a mowing service, they're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics.
What makes you unique from
other stores in the area.
I try to build a great relationship with all of my customers. I can do just anything from cars to food trucks to signs, banners. I do a lot of custom this and that. I'll say 100% of anybody come in here, they leave out happy. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Hey, Hawk fans, it's Ty with the Morning Rush. Join me this Saturday, October the 19th, from 1 to 3 o'clock at the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville for Arkansas Game Day. Robert, Elizabeth, and Matt at the Stadium Shop will have a buy one regular price clothing item, get a second equal or lesser value half off, including their Nike apparel and jerseys. It does not get more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. Arkansas Game Day live at the Stadium Shop on Razorback this Saturday from 1 till 3.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I used to have a friend that said if deer hunting was really a sport, you like chase it down and kill him with a knife. You wouldn't shoot it with a gun.
Good Lord.
I'm just telling you what he said.
What are we doing this morning?
I'm just telling you.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
PETA has called, and they're going to remove that. But leave the music up for a second, please. Do you know what this song is? I know you do because you're a big Morgan Wallen fan. It's one thing at a time. It's about quitting one thing at a time. I'd like to put that top of your list.
Oh, okay.
Stabbing deer.
Well, I was repeating a story from someone else.
But you do that after they're dead.
You guys got
As
a little,
I understand
you guys got a little sensitive, as you always do. All right, before we go on, Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, they've been my partners a long time, and I recommend them at every turn because I know the job that they do. And I want to talk to you today about Tina Wagner. She's one of the all-stars from the Bentonville office. Now, passion, boundless energy, those are all prerequisites if you're going to do well in your chosen field. That's what she brings to real estate. Focus, an environment that for buyers and sellers, there's a comfort zone there. And the recommendations are, I'm reading through them right now. Knowledge of the market, exceptional negotiating skills. Those things are important too, maybe more important now than ever before. I can tell you about my experience with them, and very similar to the ones who've done business with Tina. When you spend money on a real estate transaction, it's probably going to be the most money you've ever spent. You want someone on your side of the table who understands the game, and that's what you always get with Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. They're in Northwest Arkansas, Washington and Benton counties, Fort Smith. They've got an office in Branson. You can check out their homes at WeichertGriffin.com, and they've been turning houses into homes since 1978.
Since I was 2. Wow. And I don't know, if people care to hear this, but, it's interesting to me, the advertising partners that we have on our show, and we did this on purpose. When we talk about these people, I'm not just saying this, it's like storytelling for us. When you get to know people, I don't know if you saw Dan Lanning's feature on game day on Saturday, and that he's been in the news all week because they put 12 men on the field on defense.
And he's been bragging about it.
People have asked him about it.
He's been bragging about it.
I haven't necessarily seen him brag about it. I think he was asked if he did it on purpose, and he didn't necessarily answer it. And he said, whatever he said about that was a situation and it worked for him. And now there's probably going to be a rule change, and there should be, but he exploited the rule for what it was, and it helped them. They got a penalty, but it cost the Ohio State, precious time, and they ended up losing the game. But my point is, when you hear a story or see a story about somebody and you get to know them a little bit better, it humanizes them. And you may like them a little bit more, or at least you'll understand them a little bit more. We talked about this a little bit earlier. Bart watched the whole picture of what happened with Kirby Smart, changed his opinion on what happened. We don't do enough of that. We don't do enough of just getting to know and educating, or just snapshot, click world. I think you're seeing that play out in that situation with Dan Lanning, who, by the way, he was on Dan Patrick yesterday. I reposted this on Twitter. He showed his alarms on his phone. Do you have multiple alarms in your phone? Like
About
if you're going to
50.
get up
I
at
used to
4,
not, but-
4:04, 4:06, like, you get your snooze will come like 8 minutes later or whatever you have it set for. But he goes like through this progression of it, just goes like down, like 8 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2. He's got like 7 different alarms.
I used to only have one alarm. Now I have multiple alarms.
I would say I have, just at a quick glance right here, somewhere between
Read yours off, Chuck. Oh, they were
50,
good. Read
50 and 60.
Read
50
off like
and
the top
60
10.
alarms?
Yeah, exactly.
Read off your top 10 alarms.
Oh, it starts at
What?
Listen. Hold on.
3, 305, 315, 320, 327, 333, 344, 350, 4 o'clock. That's the early morning.
So
405, 410, 415, 420, 430, 449, 5 o'clock.
Are we in the afternoon
By
now?
God, I'm getting out of bed. I am not going to oversleep.
No question.
I am not going to oversleep.
So Chuck, I'm just guessing. I'm guessing. Tell me, do you just determine, depending on what kind of day you've had, which
Yes.
one you're going to start with?
Yes.
So it's like
exactly
you
what I
scroll
do.
down.
And
Tomorrow's a 4 a.m.
And I
day.
think it's important to have your alarm go off, and then it needs to go off a second time before the snooze button hits from the first alarm.
That's exactly right.
And
There's a strategy to that.
That's how you wake up.
That's smart.
That's how you get up.
Yeah, that's
And,
really smart.
It's the equivalent of tricking your body, so to speak.
We should have had this conversation in the 6 o'clock hour because more people would understand it. Those waking up now have no idea what we're talking about.
Well, the people that are getting up now don't set their alarms. They just wake up when they wake up.
Hey, I did wake up without the alarm today. 4 or 12, I woke up.
I can't believe you guys don't do that.
I do.
That
I've
is-
done it.
That
I
is
have
an
a very
insane
similar
number of
system.
alarms.
Oh, Bart, I didn't even get to 15% of them, pal.
Wait till we get
I'm
to
all
the
over
afternoon
road.
schedule.
Hey, I can
For the nap.
I can drop a nap on you now. I can drop a nap on you, but I like to set the alarm so I don't sleep all day.
We got a breaking stat from Bart in the Situation Room as it pertains to the LSU Arkansas game on Saturday night.
Yeah, Sam Pittman, as an underdog against top 20 opponents, 15-4 against the spread.
Wow. And what's the spread?
LSU is a 2.5-point favorite.
Okay.
How about
Do with that as you will.
So when we rattle off all these stats about Pittman, by the way, Tom Murphy came out with grades today. We talked about that earlier, midseason grades on the team. He gave the coaches an A or somewhere in the A minus, A. I don't remember if it was A minus or A. But he gave the coaching staff an A for the 4-2 start to the season. When you rattle off all these numbers about Pittman coming out of bye weeks, these are numbers. Okay, I'm not comparing him to Nick Saban. But every time you watch, and this is when you just remove yourself and you watch national things, what are all the things you would hear about Saban a few years ago? How great he is coming out of a bye. Oh, you give Nick Saban Pittman's done great with season openers, bowl games, and bye weeks. Again, I'm not comparing him. I'm just saying people look at that as a superlative. And I think sometimes we rattle off these numbers about Pittman. We use the Mark Stoops comparison about the same amount of time. His start at Kentucky, his record nowhere as good as Pittman's. And Stoops has built a solid program at Kentucky. He's done better there than he's the longest tenured coach in the league. That longevity helps Kentucky hang around, have some good years. I'm not saying that's the expectation, but Pittman's been better than that. 15-4. What's the stat again?
15-4 against the spread as an underdog versus top 20 opponents.
That's a lot of games as an underdog, too.
Well, I also think, too, one of the realities and all that is we talk about spreads Monday through Friday. We talk about winning and losing on Saturday. And Monday. And Monday, you're right. My point is sometimes you can beat the spread and still lose the game. And but from a bettor's perspective, those numbers speak for themselves.
877-377-6963. That'll get you in if you want to get in here and talk about the game on Saturday. We'll be here to talk about it again tomorrow. By the way, we talked about basketball a fair amount yesterday. Jimmy Dykes said in a moment on the show yesterday, I'd almost forgotten about it, but he didn't put it past Cal to win another national championship or two at Arkansas. Now, that thing's such a hard deal, like getting in the tournament and all that. One of the things that has jumped out to me, though, about what we've been hearing about Arkansas basketball, I mean, obviously, you know, they've got really good players and guys that are going to play in the NBA, but the identity of a John Calipari team.
What do you think the identity of this team is going to be?
Hopefully it's going to be a team that plays really fast, it shares the ball, and is rough. Ooh, are they rough? You say that, we'll be fine.
Rough. I think he's talking about defense. Physical.
Slap those wrists.
That was the Nolan days.
Yeah. Those players played Arkansas, talk about how they got done with the game. Their wrists were raw from all the times Corey Beck slapped their wrists. Ryan's in Hot Springs. Ryan, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, Ryan.
Morning, guys.
Morning, hey, Ryan.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Hope y'all having a good day.
We are.
You know, I heard your comment about the waking up and about the alarm stuff. That was kind of cracking me up. 'Cause usually, I only need two usually, and it's and usually if I'm hunting or fishing, I'm usually awake before my alarm. Now, if I'm going to work, I gotta have those alarms.
When I don't use all of them every day, I just have them there at the ready.
Right. Well, y'all were talking about the stuff with
Right.
fitness too, and the thing I don't hear nobody mentioning, and because I asked y'all this question here a couple weeks ago, is the fact that he's 6-1 now after the Tennessee win. He is 6-1 in night games at Fayetteville. Nobody's talking about that.
That's a good one. We're going to fact check it, but that's a good one.
Well, I think being
already have.
Being at home.
You already have?
Being at home and playing at night.
Y'all already have. I called.
I
got called you 2 weeks ago, remember?
Okay, yeah.
And
I just saw Bart looking over there. You got it.
It was BYU was their only loss.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, I mean, y'all the one that told me. So.
Well, you can take it to the bank, then, Ryan.
First security deposit.
But I'm excited about this win. This is probably the first time in a while that I've actually felt like Arkansas has a legitimate chance at this game. And these games always come down to one possession, and I got a good feeling about it, and I hope they pull it off.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan.
It's going to
thank
be
you.
a good game. I think they got a great chance to do that.
Well, playing at home at night's a big deal. I mean, it is a big, big deal for Arkansas and for everybody else. Hardest games to win are night games on the road in the SEC.
Mentioned First Security Bank. We're also brought to you in part by Pasco Air Plumbing and Electric. What's important about that right now, Chuck? The changing temperatures?
Cold in the morning, warmer in the afternoon, heater, AC. Back and forth.
You can trust Pascal.
You can.
Do a price check.
Plan protection program as well. A lot of P's involved in that.
Hey, they're all right there.
Peace of mind. Peace of mind. You know that no matter what the season, you're going to be okay.
Also brought to you by the Fayetteville Auto Park, Flight by Yingling. If you haven't had a Flight by Yingling, it is a light beer, a craft light beer, tastes like Yingling, but gives you all the benefits of a light beer. But it still tastes like a Yingling. Flight by Yingling. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, Sweatenham Cosmetic. Ask them about the Sweatenham Edge. Just go to SweatenhamCosmetic.com and click on the Sweatenham Edge. You can look and feel better. Guys want to look that way and feel that way too. It's the Chuck and Bo Show on a Thursday morning. Glad you're here.
Hey, good morning. It's good to hear you back on the radio, man. I missed you in the afternoons, and you guys seem to be gelling right along. So it's good to hear both of you on morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Ty Story, high school football coach and former college quarterback.
I love coaching, but it's a lot more fun after LASIK. Now when I'm coaching, I can focus on my players and not my eyes. After LASIK, my eyes are even better than before when I had glasses or wore contacts. The McDonald Eye Team was great. They put me at ease. I couldn't believe how well I was seeing the day after surgery. Good vision and good football go together. I'm really glad I trusted my eyes to McDonald Eye Associates.
See your best with safe and affordable LASIK from McDonald Eye Associates. Register for your free consultation at McDonaldEye.com.
Being a Razorback fan isn't just about the game. It's about the community, the tradition, and the moments that matter. At Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, the official jeweler of the Arkansas Razorbacks, we understand the importance of those moments. That's why we offer a selection of fine jewelry that goes beyond the ordinary, just like our Hogs. Visit Blakeman's Fine Jewelry in Rogers, where you'll find the perfect piece to celebrate your Razorback spirit and the special moments in your life. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
With Oaklawn Sports, the action never stops and the season is never over. It's now easier than ever to wager on your favorite sports all year long. Go from football to basketball to baseball to golf. Bet on what you want, when you want, with the brand you trust. Oaklawn Sports even offers ways to bet on cricket, rugby, table tennis, and more. If it's a sport, chances are you can wager on it. Plus, it's now simpler to deposit and withdraw money from your account. Bet all year long with Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Hey Razorback fans, it's Quinn Grovey alongside my man, Matt Zimmer. And it's a great time to be a Razorback.
Embrace the hole!
Whether it's a touchdown, a slam dunk, or a grand slam.
Big Sully, they were doing all the stuff. I went in there to get something to eat, and they're cheering. I'm like, what is going on here?
We're here with the excitement and insight you crave.
Well, you're giving me goosebumps now, you know.
It's the Razorback Daily from the team at Sport and Store.
That might be our best episode ever.
Available wherever you listen to your podcast each morning.
It's the Hogs versus the Tigers in a homecoming battle for the Golden Boot. Arkansas battles LSU in a primetime matchup inside Razorback Stadium this Saturday night, 6 p.m. And we need Razorback Stadium absolutely rocking. So if you've got tickets, make sure they're being used. Or if you need tickets, go online right now to the official resale marketplace of the Razorback Athletic Department, SeatGeek.com. It's Razorback Stadium Red out this Saturday, so be sure to wear red and bring the noise on Saturday night.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Did I hear my broadcast partner talking about somebody slipping in his DM?
What's new and what's on sale at Wheeler Power Sports? Many new bikes, quads, and side-by-sides from Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Polaris are arriving weekly. New to the dealership, the Polaris Ranger XD 1500, Kawasaki Ridge with a full cabin, HVAC, and the all-new Brute Force 450. Plus, we have rebates and dealer discounts totaling as much as $6,000 off certain side-by-sides. WheelerPowersports.com. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Arkansas is special. Our people are honest and hardworking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is pure Arkansas. We were raised here, we live here, and we're straight shooters. Unfortunately, out-of-state lawyers who care nothing about Arkansas are advertising for your legal business. They don't understand that you don't hand Arkansans a pile of cow dung and try to tell us it's a rose. Don't be just a number. Call the Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come get you some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all. They do it from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561. Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Come on, leave me with this. The Beachy Boy, fight for your right.
You gotta fight.
You gotta fight.
There it is.
For
yeah.
your right.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I don't know what kind of grade we're going to get today. You know, it's been a grades day, but I really enjoyed hearing Dan Hampton earlier today.
Passing grade.
Nostalgia's what makes
He's
sports.
incredible.
I mean, it really is.
He's incredible. If you don't know who Dan Hampton is, look it up.
Yeah,
he's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame and didn't play a down of football really until his junior year of high school.
Right. And, I mean, it shows you. We were talking a little bit earlier about the value in development, you know. Who knows in the modern era what a lot of these guys, Hampton, a lot of these others who were not heralded when they were signed, but they had 2 or 3 years to, get better, get bigger, get stronger, the whole deal.
You talk about days gone by. Pittman said something early in the year about his players policing themselves, good leadership in the locker room. Back then, Dan Hampton would tell Lou Holtz. Holtz would say, "Where'd you go last night?" He'd say the Swinging Door, which was a bar in Fayetteville. That was a thing I learned today. The library. And the coaches didn't worry about it because they knew the players, if they didn't do what they were supposed to do, they'd be running until they threw up.
Well, they had them all confined in the old Wilson Sharp house back then, too. They weren't living all over the place.
There's another one.
They weren't living all over the place.
The library, the Swinging Door, the old Wilson Sharp house.
Yeah, they had them all confined and contained, or so they thought.
Got a big show tomorrow.
Back then. It's what I hear.
Going to the back streets of Louisiana, Baton Rouge. Matt Moscona is going to be on the show at 7.
Now, when
He's
you're
as
talking
good a talk show host that they have down there.
When you're talking back streets in Baton Rouge, you're talking back streets.
He's good. And we got Zach Gillum from Oaklawn Sports. By the way, we got big Fayetteville High School game on Friday.
Who are they playing?
At Bentonville.
Ooh,
it's a rivalry.
Thriller.
We got Thursday night football tonight. NFL. Who's playing on Prime? Chuck's got the subscription.
Yeah, I don't know who's playing.
Denver and New Orleans.
Probably not.
Denver and New Orleans. Spencer Rattler's playing. Bo Nix versus Spencer Rattler.
You think they've dumbed those offenses down a little bit from your normal NFL standards
BC's
so you can have a couple of youngsters playing?
BC's at Va Tech tonight. There's a college game for
I might watch that.
At 6:30. By the way, the Dodgers rolled last night.
Yeah, they're killing them.
Hey, it's been fun. Chuck and Bo show back tomorrow at 6 a.m. Have a great day.
There's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state, and you can add